Good afternoon. We're bringing you commentary today of Manchester City versus Chelsea in the Premier League. I'm your alternative host and co-commentator for this match, Russ Vernon, and joining me to be your main commentator for the game today is none other than Paul James. And we can go to Paul now as he brings us the headline team news for this match. Paul.
Good afternoon, Ross. Good afternoon, everybody. So, Manchester City, with the title already in the bag and wrapped up, they've made 9 changes to their starting lineup today. Only Kyle Walker and Manuel Akanji remain from the 4-0 victory over Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-finals, second leg. For Chelsea, after their 2-2 draw with Nottingham Forest, they make 5 changes. Kepa Arrizabalaga returns in goal. Eduard Mendy is out. Badiashile is out and Wesley Fofana is in. Kovacic is out and Azpilicueta is in. João Felix is supposedly on the bench today. We're not sure about that. We're going to try and get an answer for you there. He might have been removed from the bench and replaced with a third goalkeeper. Havertz is in the starting lineup for João Felix. The final change is Madueke is out, Noni Madueke is out, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek is in. Those are the changes for today, Ross.
Thank you very much there, Paul. Kick-off for this one, guys, is 4 p.m. UK time, and I'll be joining Paul to bring you commentary on this one in what's going to be a party atmosphere after yesterday Manchester City won the Premier League title. So, just looking back on the overall season then, Paul, ahead of kick-off in this one, obviously City making 9 changes, leaving out Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland, and just to name a couple of their big key stars. They've won the title again for a third successive season in a row in the Premier League for Pep Guardiola's side. Just how special is this Man City side compared to the one that won it last season?
Well, they've obviously added Erling Haaland. That's a major difference in that City side. They've also added Julian Alvarez to that lineup too. But they're a very, very talented team, and they're not a big squad. When I was drawing out the squads for this last night, and when I was comparing it to Chelsea, it's not a big squad at all. But yet they've got the right amount of players in. They've got the right quality in. To get the job done, and they've been impressive all the way through the season. As I said when we were commentating on the Champions League second leg, Ross, they're the best. They play the best football I've seen right now. I don't see anybody playing any better football at the moment anywhere.
Yeah, obviously, Paul, City, as I mentioned, resting the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, Jack Grealish, another one. Do you think that's probably the right decision, considering they've won the title already? Do you think that's strong enough? That's a good shout from Pep Guardiola to rest his key players for some bigger games coming up, like the FA Cup final, like the Champions League final. Do you think that's the right decision of Pep Guardiola to rest these two key players, and maybe some of the others that have rested? Do you think that's the right decision and the right call?
Yeah, from that perspective, yes. Excuse me. From that perspective, yes, because they do have the FA Cup final coming up in a couple of weeks, and then 7 days after that, of course, they've got Internazionale in the Champions League final in Istanbul. They've got 2 away games coming up. In fact, the next 4 games are on the road, so he does need to rotate his squad a little bit. Otherwise, they're going to become exhausted, and with Manchester United in the FA Cup final, it's not going to be an easy game. It's a derby. And the Champions League final, well, that brings a whole different atmosphere in and of itself as well. So I think he's made the right decision.
Yes, obviously there's Erling Haaland, just going on to the bench. You can see Erling Haaland there, see Ederson as well, John Stones, Kevin De Bruyne, Grealish, Rodri, all on the bench for this game today. Nathan Ake just behind, who's not involved in the squad today. Some of those players there, Paul, were probably the best players in the world right now, playing for probably I would say the best side in the world right now. Looking on the performances of Man City, and should they get the job done today with the amount? I know it's title already won, but should they win again today? Are you surprised Owen's not starting? Because I know he said he's done the right thing, resting him. Are you surprised he's not started because of the situation with regards to him wanting to try and beat some records in terms of players who's just ahead of him in the goal scoring charts?
I'm sure he'll get his chance before the end of the season. They still have 2 more league games to go after today. Brighton on the 25th away, and of course Brentford on the 28th. So I'm sure he'll be involved at some point in those games. He'll get his opportunity. But I think Pep Guardiola is doing the right thing by rotating his squad. You've got quality players here. Look, this is not a weak side. You've got virtually 11 internationals here on this. These are quality players. He's not fielded a weakened side. He's just rotated his squad, and like he's not playing the youth team or anything like that. These are international players that are in this City lineup. Well, the players are just coming out now, Ross.
Yeah, as I'm saying, as the players are about to coming out now, the chess players are on the sideline with the match officials, the referee, and chess players giving Manchester players the guard of honour. So without further ado, let me hand over to your match commentator for this game. It's Paul James.
Thank you, Ross, and thank you, everybody. First job of the day is we should probably go through the starting lineups. So for Manchester City, who are managed by Pep Guardiola, this year's champions, Stefan Ortega starts in goal. Kyle Walker, wearing the captain's armband today, one of the 2 survivors from the midweek win over Real Madrid. Aymeric Laporte, Manuel Akanji and Rico Lewis. Calvin Phillips, Sergio Gomez, Phil Foden and Cole Palmer, and Julian Alvarez and Riyad Mahrez make up the Manchester City lineup. For Chelsea, well, they've made some changes as well, as mentioned earlier. Kepa Arrizabalaga returns in goal. Thiago Silva, Trevor Chalobah, Cesar Azpilicueta, he's wearing the captain's armband today. Wesley Fofana, Enzo Fernandez, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Conor Gallagher. Kai Havertz returns to the lineup. He's the leading scorer in the league this season. Lewis Hall and Raheem Sterling make up the Chelsea lineup. As for the substitutes, well, we haven't received any kind of definite confirmation yet on João Felix. In fact, we have, thank you. João Felix is not on the bench and is being replaced by the young American goalkeeper Ethan Wadey. So we'll just go through the substitutes for Manchester City, and it's Ederson on the bench, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Ilkay Gundogan, Jack Grealish, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva and Erling Haaland. Imagine pricing up that bench. For Chelsea, well, they have Edouard Mendy as a substitute goalkeeper, along with Ethan Wadey, Kalidou Koulibaly, Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, Carney Chukwuemeka, David Fofana and Noni Madueke make up the substitutes for Chelsea. And our referee today, well, it's the vastly experienced, even though he's still at a young age, Michael Oliver. He is without doubt Britain's best referee in my mind. He's 38 years of age and he's from Ashington, Northumberland. At only 25 years of age, Michael Oliver became the youngest referee in Premier League history when he took charge of Birmingham City's match against Blackburn Rovers in August 2010, and he's remained a top official ever since. For Michael Oliver, he's refereed 42 games in all competitions. He's shown 142 yellow cards, 2 red cards, and 18 penalties. He will be joined on the lines by Stuart Burt and Lee Betts. Robert Jones is our 4th official, and John Brooks and Simon Bennett are in VAR. This is actually the 175th meeting between the two sides. Manchester City have won 64, Chelsea have won 71, and there's been 39 draws. The first meeting between the two sides took place on the 7th of December 1907 in League Division 1 in front of 50,000 people. On that day, it was Chelsea 2, Manchester City 2. News events at the time was on January 29th of that year, Republican Charles Curtis of Kansas became the first Native American US Senator, later became the 31st Vice President of the United States. On December the 10th of that year, Rudyard Kipling receives the Nobel Prize for Literature, the first English writer ever to do so. Chelsea have in fact have only won 5 out of the last 17 games against City, and City have won the last 5 in all competitions without conceding a single goal. So as we get ourselves prepared for kickoff here, the referee is just pulling everyone to the centre circle here at the City of Manchester Stadium. It's going to be Manchester City to get us underway in their sky blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks. For Chelsea, they're in their dark blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks. City get the game underway and they're going to be attacking the goal to our right. And it's with Stefan Ortega, the German goalkeeper. He gives it to Kyle Walker. Walker drops it back to Ortega. Ortega just plays the ball across there to Aymeric Laporte. And it's back now with the number 25 there for City. And the ball is now back again. This time with Gomez. It's played. The ball is played forward, and chasing this one down is Mahrez. Mahrez is able to find Gomez, and the ball comes back across to Phillips. Phillips just drops the ball back here to Mahrez again. Mahrez plays the ball in, but it's a poor ball and it's comfortably won back by Chelsea. And Chelsea can come away on the break with Gallagher. Gallagher picks up the ball again. He's just over the halfway line now and he plays the ball forward and he's found Kai Havertz, but the referee has determined that there was an interference there by Havertz and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. It's going to be taken there by Kanji. Kanji just gives the ball across there to Foden, and Foden just drops it off to Cole Palmer. It's back with a Kanji. Just seems to drop in the centre-back position. He gives it to Kyle Walker. Back to Manuel Akanji again. And it's back with Lewis. And it's Walker again, just plays the ball down this near side to Mahrez, over the halfway line, midway inside the Chelsea half of the field. It's played down on the far side there to Phillips, over to Palmer. Palmer just trying to run at Azpilicueta. He gets the better of him. Can Palmer get in the cross? He does. He's looking for options. It bounces out to the edge of the area to Mahrez. Fine challenge there, but comes back out to the edge of the area there to Phillips, but it took a deflection off the Fofana and it goes wide for a corner. That's going to be the first corner of the day, inside 3 minutes.
Yeah, good play down that far side there, Paul, from Cole Palmer. With the ball in, if come to Mahrez, who's tried to put the ball back in, was blocked. Phillips with the shot. Good shot from Phillips, just behind for a corner. Good start from Man City this.
Yes, that's right, Ross, and it's going to be a corner here now. It's outswung. It's headed away to the edge of the area, but only as far there. Oh, that's a good strike by Gomez, and he just pulls it wide. And that was an interesting move by City. It was headed out. Gomez was there all alone, Ross. Real chance there for Gomez.
Yes, good effort there from Sergio Gomez. Just slashed at it in full fairness, but it was a decent opportunity. And City starting to pen Chelsea in here. It could be a long evening for Chelsea if City get into their groove very early on.
Well, excuse me. Here come Chelsea now, just over the halfway line. It's dropped down this near side to Hall. Hall just drops it back to Chukwuemeka. To Chalobah. The ball is played over on the far side there to Kai Havertz. Havertz drops it back to Azpilicueta. Havertz again. And he just drops it back there to Fofana. And it's Fofana again. And he just goes all the way back as City just kind of pressing Chelsea back. But here's Fernandes now. Fernandes plays the ball out on the far side to Azpilicueta. Plays the ball into the box, but that's a good tackle there. But it breaks loose here for Gallagher, and it's blocked again, this time by Fernandes. And Manchester City can now break away. They were just under a bit of sustained pressure for a moment. Here's Mahrez. Mahrez just drops it back in midfield there to Phillips. Phillips over on the far side to Palmer. Palmer now attacking the penalty area. Palmer gets inside. Is he going to get the cross in? He holds it up there right in the penalty area. It's pulled back and it's cleared away by Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Only as far and out of play about midway inside the Chelsea half. So it's a bit of a frantic start, Russ. Both sides have tried to create chances.
They have, Paul. City have started on the front foot, as you would expect, as they're the champions. Chelsea coming here to try and spoil the party of Manchester City's after winning the title yesterday following Arsenal's defeat. And I think it's going to be a good game. I can't call this one. You would expect City to win it without them being this season dominant in every single match. But Chelsea, you never know what they're capable of. 1 minute they can have a really poor game, next game they can be really good, so it'd be interesting to see how this game goes.
Sterling plays the ball forward looking for Kai Havertz. He's under pressure by Manuel Akanji, and the referee has blown up for the free kick on Akanji, and Chelsea will have a free kick here now, I think. Or is he giving it the other way? Just give me a second. I want to say he's giving it the other way, actually. Yes, giving the foul on Kai Havertz, and now City will get the game back underway. It's Phillips. Phillips drops all the way back to Stefan Ortega. City have a 61% chance of winning this game. Chelsea only have a 15% with 24% chance of it being a draw. And the ball is played long by Rico Lewis, and chasing this one down is Mahrez, and the official's flag on this near side goes up, although Kepa Arrizabalaga just plucks it out of the air as well. So it was Kepa Arrizabalaga back in goal after replacing Edward Mendy after the 2-2 draw against Nottingham Forest. Here's Sterling. He's muscled out of the play. Game goes on. Foden just drops it aside to Cole Palmer again. Cole Palmer has been very effective so far on that far side. He's just looking to get the better of Cesar Azpilicueta again. He drops it back instead, and it's now back with Laporte, and it's back with Palmer. Back to Laporte. He's got Akanji alongside him. Just slips the ball there to Manuel Akanji. Akanji plays the ball forward there, looking for Alvarez, but it comes back to Akanji. Akanji just gives the ball to Laporte as City once again just looking for room here. Here's Phil Foden. Foden, edge of the area, played it across on the far side to Mahrez. Mahrez now attacking that Chelsea defence again. Kyle Walker tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked by Gallagher, and it's going to be a second corner to Manchester City. And in the first 7 minutes, City are really trying to press forward. They don't just want to sit back on this. They don't want to do a bit of a half measure on this. They really, really want to go out and win this. And that's a trait of Pep Guardiola, to never let his team let up, even when they're winning comfortably. Corner to be taken by Riyad Mahrez. Looks like he's going to in-swing this. It's almost right under the crossbar. It's headed out, in fact, but only as far as Phil Foden. Foden attempts a shot. It was an ambitious effort. But it's not a million miles away, but it was an ambitious effort by Foden, Ross.
Yeah, as you say, Paul, ambitious effort from the right-hand side of the penalty area. The ball came headed out him on the edge of the penalty area. He brought it down well on his chest, and then fired an ambitious effort not far wide of Kepa's left-hand post. Man City's right as they tried to attack. But City, as I mentioned earlier, Paul, are penning Chelsea when they can, forcing the mistakes at the back, and trying to get in behind to get on the attack at the very earliest possibilities.
Here's Fofana. He's inside his own half. It's Fofana, midway inside his own half. He goes all the way back to Kepa Arrizabalaga. Arrizabalaga gives it to Chalobah. Chalobah just trying to turn away, but he loses the ball from Mahrez. And Mahrez just plays the ball there off Hall, and it's going to be a throw-in to to Manchester City. Kyle Walker just throws it all the way back to Manuel Akanji on the halfway line. Here's Laporte. Akanji just drops it down this near side to Walker. Walker just gets a quick 1-2 there back off Mahrez, and Walker just clattered into, I'm not sure who that was down there, but there's a Chelsea player down, and over on the far side is Cole Palmer. Palmer drops it back to Foden. Left-hand side, Foden gives it to Palmer. Palmer just drops it back. It's now back with Foden, and over on the far side there is Gomez, and he just drops the ball out of play to allow the Chelsea player to get some treatment. We're just trying to see who that is that's down right now. Oh, it's a nasty challenge. Yes, it's Enzo Fernandez who's down there right now, and that does not look very... That's late, Ross.
Yes, he's played the ball more or less, and then he's gone through on to him afterwards. As you say, Paul, it's a late challenge. I'm surprised I picked up a book in there, at least. But I can see probably why the referee... Because when you're going for challenges like that, not very often, after you've played the ball, you can stop yourself. The momentum carries you through. And I think sometimes when you win the ball, you can't just win the ball and then stop. Sometimes you continue to go through and catch them, and I think that was one of those. Some referees would have probably booked him there, but I'm surprised this one didn't.
All right, well, here's Cole Palmer inside the penalty area. Can he get the cross in? It's blocked. Good work by Azpilicueta that time. He drops it back to Fofana, and Fofana clears the ball long. Kyle Walker going up there along with Kai Havertz. In the end, it's won by Manuel Akanji, but it goes out onto the far side to Sterling. Sterling just watches that ball go out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Chelsea right on the halfway line. You are listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. And right now, here is Lewis Hall for Chelsea. Gives it to Havertz. Havertz drops it back. Here's Chalobah, just inside his own half. And, excuse me, he gives the ball there to Thiago Silva. Ball is played forward, but it's given away. And here's City coming forward now with Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer, he's got options for Alvarez. Alvarez, can he score? Yes! He puts it in the bottom corner. And Alvarez gives Manchester City the lead after 11 minutes. And it is Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. It's Julian Alvarez, and it came from a giveaway in the midfield. And we're going to look at this again. I'll get Russ's thoughts on this in just a moment. But it starts from the turnover in the midfield that allowed City to break. And you can see here the turnover given away by Fofana. Fofana's giveaway then allowed City to break forward. Cole Palmer's pass to Julian Alvarez, and the two Chelsea defenders just weren't close enough for us.
Yeah, weren't close enough. Fofana gifted the ball to Calvin Phillips. He found Cole Palmer. The Chelsea defence just backed off. He was able then to roll it into the path of Julian Alvarez, and Alvarez does a miss from there. City, the champions, are 1-0 up, and I think the party, which was already started before the game, is just going to continue even longer, Paul James. I think this party is going to continue very, very long and hard into the night. It started yesterday, and they're going to continue right the way through till next weekend, when it's a bank holiday weekend. I think these City fans are going to enjoy themselves.
Well, here's Phil Foden. He gives it to Kyle Walker, and he drops it back to Manuel Akanji. And I think you're right, Ross. This is City at the moment. They're just so effective the way that they play. Outstanding football all the time. Alvarez gives it over on the far side there to Gomez. Gomez just drops it back. And it goes all the way back to Akanji. Akanji just in the centre circle in the Chelsea half of the field. And it's back to Mahrez. Mahrez drops it back to Kyle Walker. Walker just gives it to Manuel Akanji, and he goes all the way back to Stefan Ortega in the Manchester City goal. And here's Akanji. Goes back to Ortega one more time as Manchester City now will build up from the back, which they do so well. And here's Laporte. Laporte gives it over on the far side to Gomez, and just turning there is Palmer. Palmer just plays the ball in the midfield to Rico Lewis, knocks the ball onto Foden, and Palmer is away now. And they've got men in the middle. Alvarez. What will Palmer do? Is he going to cut inside and have a go himself? He gives it to Rico Lewis, and here's Alvarez. It's Foden. It breaks loose to Mahrez, and it's a good block by Conor Gallagher. Well, Alvarez and Foden just got in the middle of each other's way there, Ross.
They did, Paul, and I'm just watching it again here now, Paul. Brilliant play from Cole Palmer down the left-hand side. He did well to call the ball by Lewis Bakayode. I don't think Foden shouted for it, because if Foden had shouted for it, Alvarez would have gone for it, and City probably would have been 2-0 up.
Well, the corner's taken quickly, and here's Mahrez. He launches the ball towards the back post, and well, Alvarez just unable to hook it back in, and it goes behind for a goal kick. 15 minutes gone at the City of Manchester Stadium. It's Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. And as we just look at this again, this move, Cole Palmer played across. Nice flick on by Rico Lewis, as Ross alluded, but it looks like there that Alvarez and Foden got in each other's way, and it broke loose to Mahrez. But it was a good piece of defending by Conor Gallagher. Let's not forget that. And here's Fofana, plays the ball forward, and it's headed back into the Chelsea half. But now Chelsea try to break away, but they've turned the ball over again, and Rico Lewis has it. In fact, it is going to be a free kick, and for a foul on Kai Havertz, and Chelsea will have the free kick. And well, the ever tortured soul of Frank Lampard, Ross. He's just inherited this absolute mess at Chelsea, and the ball is out. And Ross, I'll be honest with you, it's I don't know who's going to take over the job in the summer, but it's an unenviable task.
It is, and the man that's likely to take over, Paul, from what we understand, is former PSG and Tottenham Hotspur boss Maurizio Pochettino. Pochettino will be back in England anyway in June as he takes charge of the Soccer Aid World 11 side against the England 11 for Soccer Aid for UNICEF, which is a charity game taking place at Old Trafford. So he'll be back for that anyway, and looks like he'll be back next season in charge of this Chelsea side. And boy oh boy, he needs some work doing on this Chelsea squad, because they're spending lots of money this season and it's not worked. I think a lot of these players are looking at moves elsewhere right now, and have been for quite a while. And I think some of these players in here that just don't care about Chelsea anymore.
Well, this season Chelsea will finish the lowest they've ever finished since the pre-Roman Abramovich era. They will not make any form of European football, and right now they're looking at finishing in 12th position, which I can't even remember the last time Chelsea finished that low. A yellow card has been flashed at Kai Havertz, I believe. Let's just take a look at this again. Yeah, oh, it's a late challenge by the German. Yeah, yellow card for Kai Havertz. And that is a poor challenge, if you will, a forwards challenge, Ross. Rightly given as a yellow card. But here's Rico Lewis. He gives it to Phil Foden. Foden drops it down this near side to Mahrez. And it's back to Walker. Across to Akanji. Just over the halfway line, Akanji. He's just unable to find Gomez, and Chelsea now can have an opportunity to break away. Fernandes plays the ball long. Chasing it down is Sterling. But that's going to roll out of play. That's good work by Manuel Akanji, just muscling Sterling out the play there and watching that go out for a throw into Manchester City, which is going to be level with their own penalty area. It's going to be taken, I think, on the far side there by Gomez. Either way, Chelsea have won the ball back with Hall, and it's determined to have been a foul, actually. We've got a City player down there right now, Julian Alvarez, just holding his leg. He looks in some discomfort. We'll take a look at that challenge again in just a moment. And let's just take a look at it here. Oh yes, looks like he just caught the back there of of Chalaba's leg. But Ross, pretty unpleasant challenge that. That's got to hurt, eh?
Yeah, he's got to hurt us. We just see his goal again here, Paul. As I was saying, a fantastic bit of play from Cole Palmer down the left-hand side. Phillips with the ball through to him, and then into Palmer, that is. Palmer then saw the run of Alvarez. Nice ball into Alvarez, and he doesn't miss from there. But with Alvarez down, when I look at the bench City's got, the ideal replacement is Erling Haaland. I know he probably would have wanted him to be rested. At the moment, Alvarez is continuing, but if he has to come off, Haaland is an eloquent replacement for him up front in this game.
Oh, and I'm sure Erling Haaland would jump at the chance. And here is Laporte. Laporte just plays the ball forward to Cole Palmer. It's Gomez now, under pressure by two Chelsea players, and he's the ball is determined to have gone out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in for Chelsea. And it goes all the way back here with Wesley Fofana. Fofana across the back there to Silva. Silva to Chalobah. Chelsea operating at a back three and centre backs with Azpilicueta and Hall operating as wing backs. And so far for Chelsea, it doesn't seem to be working for them. Here's Azpilicueta. And it's dropped back to Wesley Fofana. Fofana plays the ball forward, but it's comfortably intercepted there. But it's a ball is just given away by Phillips, and Chelsea have the ball back now, and it's with Kepa Arrizabalaga. He drops it down to Trevor Chalobah. Chalobah tries to play the ball forward, but it's intercepted and given away by Chelsea as they turn the ball over once again. It's now with Aymeric Laporte. Laporte, he gives the ball to Akanji just over the halfway line. The ball is played down this near side. That is a poor ball by Rico Lewis, and Chelsea now have the ball back with Hall, and he gives it back to Kepa Arrizabalaga. Arrizabalaga launches it downfield, and it's just won back by Manuel Akanji. He heads it as far as Hall. Hall handles the ball, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. Chelsea giving the ball away quite a bit in this first 21 minutes, Ross.
Yes, and really cool stat here for you and our listeners as well. I've just been looking at this. The most home goals in a season in the Premier League in 2009-10 season, Chelsea got 68. Then the next three on the list is Man City. In 13-14, they scored 63. In 17-18, they scored 61. And in this season so far, with this season that's over, they've scored 60 goals. They just need 4 more goals to be the tally from 63 from the 13-14 City side.
Well, it's back with, thanks Ross for that stat, it's back with Kepa Arrizabalaga, and he is going to clear it right-footed downfield. And it's just one in the midfield there, and it's now back with Mahrez. Mahrez has got space as Chelsea once again turn the ball over, and it's City now moving forward with Kyle Walker midway inside the Chelsea half of the field, and it's with Rico Lewis, and just floored there was Rico Lewis, and but City play on, and it's Phillips just drops it back to Akanji. Phillips again gives it to Riyad Mahrez as Chelsea trying to press City back into their own half, and it goes all the way back to Stefan Ortega from Aymeric Laporte, and Ortega will build up from the back again as Akanji gives it back to Ortega, and here's Laporte. Laporte just plays the ball forward here. Just holds the ball up and just drops it back to Manuel Akanji and gives the ball back to Laporte. Laporte just plays the ball forward to Phil Foden. Foden, and he drops the ball to Lewis. Back to Foden. And Foden just plays the ball in now to Cole Palmer. Real chance. It's played across and it's just cleared away by Trevor Chalobah. But another chance for City there as there is a foul on Wesley Fofana. But once again, Ross, talk us through that chance, this time again by Cole Palmer.
Yes, fantastic play again from Manchester City. Brilliant 1-2 between Foden and Lewis. Foden then plays the ball back to Cole Palmer. His ball across, looking for Julian Alvarez. Took a deflection off of Wesley Fofana. I think initially we were looking to shoot, and just looked to where the goalkeeper were there, Kepa, but he couldn't get it on target. Good ball from Fofana to stop it from getting from Alvarez and Chalobah clearing off the line. City, ever since that goal, Paul, they're just going in confidence. Whether they needed that goal to go in confidence, who knows? But they have done since they got that goal, and I think they probably would have done it anyway.
Well, just a stat flashed up on your screen now. If you're watching, 17 touches in the Chelsea penalty area, only 1 touch in the Manchester City penalty area. It gives you some idea just how dominant this game has been. And it's back with Ortega. Ortega clears it, and here is Foden. He slips the ball across over on the far side to Gomez. Gomez out to Cole Palmer on the far side. Palmer plays the ball in looking for Alvarez, but it's hacked away by Thiago Silva, and Chelsea will have to defend again because City have got the ball. And just on the ball now is Phillips. He's just taking his time. It's almost like a training session, this. And here's Cole Palmer. He just drops it back to Laporte. Laporte gives it to Akanji. And Akanji back to Foden. Foden. Drop down this near side to Kyle Walker. Walker just drops it back to Akanji. And gives it to Laporte. And it's forward there to Cole Palmer. And now back to Gomez. Palmer. Oh, he almost got away from Azpilicueta there. The England manager, Gareth Southgate, is present today. And he will be looking to pick his squad for next month's European Championship qualifiers. They're already off to a good start, Russ, are England?
They are, yes, Paul. They're doing a very good start. England in the Under-17 Championships. Won the other day, and they're playing later tonight. I'll get back to that in a moment.
Here is Mahrez. Mahrez just goes all the way back to Manuel Akanji. Akanji across on the far side to Aymeric Laporte. Laporte gives it to Rico Lewis. Lewis down this near side to Mahrez. Mahrez back to Lewis, and you can see the City fans are really enjoying themselves right now. They're Premier League champions. They can potentially win the treble with 2 finals coming up. The FA Cup final against Manchester United and the Champions League final against Internazionale. The ball played forward. It's a bad one. It's comfortably dealt with by Fofana. And picked up here is Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez plays the ball forward looking for Kai Havertz. Havertz. He's played the ball down this near side to Lewis Hall. Hall just cuts inside, trying to get the cross in. He's not able to. Hall pulls the ball back to Chalobah. Chalobah gives the ball to. Well, he gives the ball back to Lewis Hall there, but he's given the ball away, and City can break away again. And if they hurry, they're 4-on-4. Here's Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer. No real urgency there. He drops it back to Rico Lewis. And City again just building up slowly. It's back with Lewis now. He's approaching the area. Lewis just drops it back to Kyle Walker. Patient play by Manchester City. And it's with Akanji back in the centre circle. Drops the ball down this near side to Mahrez. Mahrez has got Hall in front of him. Is he fouled there? No, the referee said that was a good tackle, and Chelsea can now try and create a break themselves, but it's given away by Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and City have the ball back again. And once again, Ross, Chelsea really giving the ball away too many times in this first half.
They are, Paul, yes. They're just battling for it in the midfield, and they've come away with possession. But Chelsea giving away quite a lot in this first half, as you rightly point out, coming up towards just over 28 minutes gone in this match so far.
Here's Sterling, and Sterling loses the ball. And here is Gomez for Manchester City. Gomez is looking at what options he's got available. He just holds the ball up just inside his own half of the field right now. Gomez, he just drops the ball to Phillips. Phillips, it's a long ball chasing Julian Alvarez. And Alvarez with a shot. Oh, it just goes wide. Well, actually, it was Phil Foden. My apologies. The ball found Phil Foden in a very advanced position, and it was an excellent pass by Calvin Phillips. And Foden, great bit of ingenuity there, just trying to catch Kepa Arrizabalaga off his line there, Ross.
Yeah, good ball from Calvin Phillips, and then Foden saw Kepa off his line and thought, why not? People have scored from there before. I could score from there as well, so who knows? So that was a fantastic effort. Well, and Phillips, Paul, as you know, ex-Leeds United player, know him well from watching him at Leeds. He's got that in his locker to play those sort of passes when he sees those sort of runs.
Well, Thiago gives it back to Kepa Arrizabalaga as Chelsea trying to create something now to move forward to try to get themselves back in this game. It's Thiago Silva again. And he plays the ball to Havertz. Havertz just drops it back to Thiago Silva. Silva, oh, it's a bad ball by Thiago Silva. It finds Alvarez. Alvarez unable to find Foden as Thiago Silva wins the ball back. But nearly another giveaway there by Chelsea. And here is Havertz. Havertz drops it back there to Thiago Silva again. A little bit better from Silva this time. He finds Chalobah. Who finds Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Goes back to Thiago Silva. Chelsea now with Wesley Fofana trying to break forward. And just over the halfway line is Enzo Fernandez. Long ball there. That's a super ball to find Lewis Hall. Hall just picks the ball up and he drops it back there. Hall gets the ball again. And here's Chalobah in an advanced position. It's across to Fernandez. Fernandez tries to lift the ball in to Sterling. Well, his first touch was disappointing. Oh, it might be offside anyway. But that was a wonderful ball in. Let's just take a look if it was offside. Enzo Fernandez, yes, might have just strayed offside a little. And his first touch was poor though, Ross.
Yeah, first touch was poor, but good ball over the top from Enzo Fernandez to get behind him. I think it was just stuff like you mentioned there, Paul. But a fantastic ball over the top from Enzo Fernandez, and just unlucky not to keep his run, try and score against his former club there.
Okay, so it comes back to the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. Ortega clears the ball downfield, but it's well, it's given away again. But City win the ball back. And over on the far side here is Gomez. Let's see what Gomez can create. Gomez gives it to Foden. Excuse me, Foden drops it back to Calvin Phillips. And Phillips just goes back to Manuel Akanji. And he just plays the ball forward there looking for Mahrez. Under pressure by two Chelsea players, Hall and Sterling. Sterling dispossesses him and gives it back to Thiago Silva. Silva is under a bit of pressure and he gives it to Chalobah. He goes back to Kepa Arrizabalaga. Here's Chalobah. Back to Arrizabalaga. And the ball is played to Chalobah. Chalobah now just clears the ball forward. It's headed down by Ruben Loftus-Cheek to Hall. Hall is under pressure from Mahrez here. Can he turn away from him? It looks like he was fouled there by the Algerian, and it's going to be a free kick to Chelsea. So with about 13 minutes left to go till half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, and you are listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services, and Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. So the games continue, and for Chelsea, well, they only have one game left after today. And that game. Oh, here's a chance now for Sterling. Sterling's in with a chance. A good save by Ortega. Well, the ball was played forward to Sterling, and they didn't really close him down quickly enough for us. We'll take a look at this again. It's Kai Havertz just plays the ball through there, and Sterling was in with a real chance and forced a good save out of Ortega.
Yeah, good play from Chelsea. Sterling going behind that time. Good save from Ortega. And if Gallagher had been a little bit quicker there, it probably could have been 1-1.
Well, it's a free kick now, and it looks like there is a foul by Kyle Walker, and we are going to get a free kick to to Chelsea, and I'd say it's it's about 28 yards out, this side, just to the right of the D. Enzo Fernandez is over this one. It's probably a bit far out for a shot, although lurking around it is Fernandez. Azpilicueta is also there, and but I just wonder if they're going to play this into the penalty area. And well, Chalobah's in there, Fofana's in there, Silva's in there, Sterling as well, all waiting for this ball. And it's a very high line by Manchester City, right on the edge of the penalty area. It's launched into the far side to Thiago Silva, but he's unable to keep it in play, and it goes behind for a goal kick. High line by Manchester City, Ross. Did that kind of work sometimes in those situations?
It does kind of work in those situations, Paul, and clearly we're there as well because Chelsea couldn't profit from that. So it clearly works in certain parts, Paul, but sometimes they can get caught out if the Chelsea players just keep their run clearly. But that time it worked really, really well. Chelsea player kept the run to keep on side, but the pass to them was just over it as City considered throwing.
Yeah, that's a rare poor ball there that time. And Chelsea have the ball on the edge of the area, and it's Havertz who finds Hall. Hall crosses the ball in, and there's a header on the far side to Gallagher! Oh, what a save! I don't know if you knew much about it, but there's Hall, Lewis Hall. He goes down in the penalty area. We're going to take a look at that save in a minute as Sterling attempts to get the ball across the second time this time, but it's a poor ball. And it'll be cleared this time by Manuel Akanji, but only as far as Trevor Chalobah. We'll get Russ's thoughts on that in a moment. And here's Thiago Silva. He's going to go back to the goalkeeper. What a fine save by Ortega. And the ball is played long. And it's back with Manuel Akanji. Akanji plays the ball forward, and it's Phil Foden. And well, there's a stoppage. It's from Gallagher's header. We're just going to take a look at this again. And the cross comes in from Hall. Gallagher's header. Oh, that's a superb save for us.
Yes, he hit the person. He comes back out and just hits him on the knee. As I said, I don't think Ortega knew much about it. Good save from him though, but Gallagher should be really doing better from that sort of position.
Yeah, well, here is Kai Havertz. He sprays the ball over to Hall on the far side that launched that ball in the box for Gallagher. And there's a pass by Ruben Loftus-Cheek back to Hall. And Hall just tries to get in front of Walker. But it comes off Hall and it goes behind for a goal kick. Well, as we approach less than 10 minutes to go till half-time at the City of Manchester Stadium. It's Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. And here is Aymeric Laporte. Laporte, he just gives it back to Manuel Akanji. Akanji down this near side to Kyle Walker. Walker, it's back to Laporte. Laporte just gives it back to Calvin Phillips. Phillips back to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper plays it long over on the far side. And it's picked up now with Phillips. Phillips plays the ball long over on the far side to Alvarez, and the ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in to Chelsea, and we're just looking at it again. Yes, it did hit the post the first time, and then it went on to Ortega's leg. I think Ortega perhaps did not know a lot about that. But somehow it stayed out, and when that sort of thing happens, Ross, you sometimes wonder whether it's your day.
You do, Paul, and right now it doesn't look like it's going to be Chelsea's day in the end, and it looks like Man City are just going to win this game, because those chances can sometimes come back to haunt you.
And it's now back with Kepa Arrizabalaga. He's cleared the ball downfield, and it's picked up by Phillips. Phillips gives the ball to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is fouled this time, surely. He's been amazing in this first half, Cole Palmer. in my opinion, by far and beyond the best Manchester City player. Almost everything has come through him down on that left-hand side, and he's won that free kick. And Phil Foden is going to launch this ball into the box, but he's also got Alvarez over him as well, which means Rico Lewis, Cole Palmer are in there. Foden, he looks like he's the man that's going to whip it in. He's got his arm in the air. Alvarez steps over it. Foden whips it in. It's a disappointing one, and Cesar Azpilicueta just gets his foot to it and knocks it out of play. The throw-in will be level with the Chelsea penalty area. Ross, Cole Palmer, do you agree? Best player in the first half for City?
For me, he's one of the best players in the first half. I've liked the look of Riyad Mahrez when he's going to some dangerous positions. Phillips has played some fantastic balls as well, which I know he can do from watching him play for England and from Leeds. But Palmer's up there in the top three. He'll probably just edge it. I'll probably go Palmer first, probably Mahrez second, Phillips third, and then Foden. So I think Foden's had a fantastic game, but Palmer definitely stand out from City. Stand out from Chelsea. Probably have to say it's probably Gallagher when he's had those chances for the last few minutes, Paul. I think he's trying to get Chelsea on the front foot every available opportunity he can.
Yeah, he's also made some vital blocks in defence as Conor Gallagher. Here is Kyle Walker, and he gives it back to Stefan Ortega. And he's just dropped the ball to Aymeric Laporte. Laporte just plays the ball out on the far side now to Gomez. Gomez just coming over the halfway line. He's got options in front of him. Palmer, Foden, Alvarez are all there. He gives the ball to Foden. Foden, long ball over on the far side. It's looking for Mahrez, but that ball is a bit too hard and high for Mahrez to keep in play. And it's going to be a throw-in. And the throw-in is taken quickly. Here is Chalobah, and he just clears the ball forward, but City win the ball back again in the centre circle, and it's Gomez again coming forward, and he's just not being closed down at the moment. Gomez drops it to Palmer. Good challenge that time by Cesar Azpilicueta. Palmer picks up the ball again, and he's just over the halfway line there. He drops it to Phillips. Phillips across to Manuel Akanji. Akanji to Rico Lewis. He goes all the way back to Aymeric Laporte. And Ross, with 3 minutes to go in this first half, do you want to just give us your summary of this first half?
Well, Paul, for me, it's been a fantastic first half. City have controlled it. Yes, Chelsea has some possession, but Manchester City, every time they've got forward, every time they've got on the ball, they've done really, really well and looked to cause Chelsea a number of problems. Chelsea have not been able to live with the likes of Cole Palmer, Foden, Mahrez, Alvarez at times. Phillips with his diagonal passes out wide to the left or to the right. And I think it's just going to be a long, long afternoon for Chelsea.
Well, that certainly seems to be the way it's going so far. That throw-in taken quickly by Palmer. And he drops it. It's dropped all the way back to Manuel Akanji, who gives it to Aymeric Laporte. Laporte plays the ball forward. He finds Alvarez in an advanced position with a little bit of space here in the penalty area. Alvarez, see what he can do with it. He drops it back to Palmer. Palmer back to Gomez, back to Calvin Phillips. Phillips might have a shot here. Oh, it just whistles wide. And, well, an ambitious effort by the England international, but it was worth the try. It was about 25 yards out, but in the end, it actually went quite far wide. Ross?
Yeah, I think he's just sliced it to there, Calvin Phillips. He probably saw his name light up and then he just sliced it to the last minute. So, a good chance for Phillips, but he just got the wrong sort of connection onto it.
Well, it's now back with Rico Lewis, and it's just dropped back again by Lewis into his own half. He gives it to Aymeric Laporte. Laporte gives it to Akanji. Akanji forward to Foden. as City are game managing this first half now, and they look well on top at the moment, as Ross mentioned earlier. As we approach the 45-minute mark, we'll see how long Robert Jones is going to add on. Here's Foden. Drops it to Mahrez. Walker is overlapping, but Mahrez will cross the ball in, and it took a deflection, and it was a comfortable deflection for Kepa Arrizabalaga. He comes out and he plucks that out of the air, and he's just trying to calm things down a bit as a Spaniard. Right now, Chelsea just look a little bit at sixes and sevens. They're giving the ball away too much, and as Arrizabalaga gives it to Thiago Silva. Thiago gives the ball across to Fofana. Fofana back to Arrizabalaga as Chelsea trying to build up from the back, but they're already being pressed and on by 5 Manchester City forwards there, that are moving towards and pressing Chelsea back, and they're making it very difficult to play from the back in these situations. Here is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's fouled, and the referee will give a free kick. So you can see that there when Chelsea play from the back, Ross, that there's 5 Manchester City forwards pressing on that immediately.
It is, they are, Paul. They're pressing on them quite well, and that's what I've liked about City this season. They don't give teams time on possession, and they don't press with just one player. They press with 2, 3, 4 players around the player who's got the ball. As you see Chelsea coming forward here, they managed to get out of that press. But you see what I mean? They've got 2 or 3 players around him, if they can at times, or just one, because there's 2 players around Loftus-Cheek then. When Chalobah's got ball or the defence have got ball, they only have one on them when they're inside their own half.
Well, we're inside 1 minute of injury time. We've already played about half a minute of that, and Chelsea have a free kick. A foul on Enzo there, Enzo Fernandez. Laporte doesn't necessarily agree with that, but I don't think you can argue with that, Russ. That's a free kick, is it not?
Yes, clear free kick. They're still arguing with the referee there, Michael Oliver. He's still arguing his Aymeric Laporte, but can never have any complaints with that. That's a definite free kick, and he's in a good position for Chelsea to potentially get one back here on the stroke of half time. In what will likely be, Paul, the final kick of the first half.
Well, there's several players around it. Ortega's just trying to work out his wall. And there's Kai Havertz over it. There is Enzo Fernandez over it. And Thiago Silva over it. Which one is it going to be? Place your bets now. Answers on a postcard. It looks like it might be Enzo Fernandez. But we'll see. It's in fact, no, it's going to be Havertz, and it's blocked. And just cleared behind by Rico Lewis before Conor Gallagher could get in the way of that. And it is going to be a Chelsea corner. So good work by Rico Lewis defensively there, because that free kick was taken by Havertz, took a deflection and almost fell, though there was Raheem Sterling and Conor Gallagher there waiting to smash that ball home. So good work from Rico Lewis. It's going to be Hall with the corner as we approach now 2 minutes of stoppage time. The corner is swung in and it's bouncing around there and it goes behind. Is that going to be a goal kick? Or is that in fact the half-time whistle? That is the half-time whistle. And it is Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Julian Alvarez on 19 minutes is the difference. Conor Gallagher had a chance to hit the post and then went onto the goalkeeper's leg. But it has been mostly Manchester City, with Cole Palmer being the difference maker, the creator in chief. And at half-time, the champions are going to be the happier of the two sides right now. Half-time, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. Ross, back to you.
Thank you very much there, Paul. James will be going to go through some of the Premier League scores from earlier today, and then we'll take a quick break and we'll look at some of the other games which are taking place as well, and then we'll go for a quick break. Let's just start off in the Premier League. It finished West Ham United 3, Leeds United 1, Brighton Hove Albion 3, Southampton 1, Man City 1, Chelsea 0 is at half time in the Premier League. In the WSL, it's Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0, Everton 2, Brighton 1, Aston Villa 3, Liverpool 3, Leicester City 0, West Ham 2 at with 87 minutes on the clock. And at 7:15 this evening is Manchester United against Manchester City. Look at La Liga, just the earlier result in there. Barcelona 1, Espanyol 2. Atletico Madrid are leading Osasuna by 2 goals with 77 minutes on the clock. There, we'll have a look at the Under-17 European Championships a bit later, and the other scores a little bit later. Just to tell you about in the FA Vars, which took place earlier today in the FA Vars match, which took place at Wembley Stadium earlier today on non-league finals day, which takes place every year. If I can find out how the FA Vars game went on for you, I'll let you know. Just trying to see if I can find that for you. We'll have a quick look on just here now for you guys. Just bear with me a second as we look at the matches. We'll try and get some reaction, if we can, fetch you from the West Ham Leeds game at half time as well in a moment. It was Ascot United against Newport Pagnell Town in the FA Vars final today, and I can tell you that Ascot United are winners in this game, and the final score in the FA Vars between Ascot United and Newport Pagnell Town, it was, and if I just tell you now as we just look at the score here when I get it up, is 1-0 to Ascot Town in the game earlier today. FA Trophy is currently underway. We'll keep you across that if we can when we get a chance to do so. We're now just going to take a quick break, and then we'll react to the first half of this matches, and then we'll try and get some reaction from Leeds' game earlier against West Ham from the Leeds United camp. Welcome back to the Country's coverage of the game between Manchester City and Chelsea. The scoreline is Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0 at the break, thanks to Julian Alvarez. I'm not sure if we'll have enough time to play you the reaction from the Leeds United end for their game against West Ham United today from either Big Sam Allardyce, or Luke Ayling. Will try and play that at the end of the game while we're waiting for Man City's title lift to be done here, which will bring you live on the channel as well. But let's just switch Paul James back in, who's the commentator for this game. And Paul, towards the end of that first half, you asked me my thoughts on the first half as a whole. Let's get your thoughts on the first half.
It was a fairly dominant display by Manchester City from start to finish. They controlled most of the possession. They controlled the game as a whole. They've created chances. Chelsea have had a couple of chances, but I think they're probably fortunate, Chelsea, not to be further behind. But they're still in it at 1-0, so who knows in the second half. But I think it's Manchester City's game so far.
Yes, and look, with Chelsea, we obviously know what the game, we know what Lampard can do in games. What do you think Lampard needs to do to get the best out of his Chelsea side in the second half?
Well, they're gonna have to try to create more. They're gonna have to try to get forward more. That's easier said than done against Manchester City. But they've got the ability to do that. Azpilicueta can get forward. Hall can get forward. Gallagher can get forward. Havertz can get forward. They've got the players to do it, Ross, but it's a tricky one.
Yeah, when you look at the Chelsea bench as well, obviously 2 goalkeepers on the bench, but then the outfield players, Christian Pulisic, Mudryk, Ziyech, Koulibaly, Fofana, Datro Fofana, Chukwuemeka and Madueke. When you look at those options on the bench, and then obviously the 2 goalkeepers, who do you think would be probably the best option Lampard can turn to off of the bench?
Probably Mudryk for sure.
Yeah, anyone other than Mudryk, like
well, there's Hakim Ziyech.
Hakim Ziyech,
yeah,
Pulisic as well, maybe.
I'm not sure about Pulisic. I think the 2 options for the creativity would be Ziyech and Mudryk. I think if you also have Madueke on the bench to add some firepower up front.
Absolutely, Paul. Absolutely, my friend. We're getting ready for the second half. Very, very shortly. We've just seen the first shot of Roberto De Zerbi on the pitch. After the Brighton game today, when they won 3-1 against Southampton earlier today, just seen a shot of him on our monitors here. Coming up, then big games in the Premier League coming up in midweek. The champions will go to Brighton on Wednesday evening in their final home game of the season at the Amex for Brighton. Man United take on Chelsea in midweek. Both of those games you'll be able to hear on the commentary hub for the start of the second half towards the end of the game, and big second half coming in for the champions, as we just see some of the players not involved today just having a race, and some of the mascots having a race there with some of the players as well. And one of them having a race down there was, from what I can see, was a former Man City player in Micah Richards, and that was fun to see there with Micah Richards. That was fun to see in the end of just there at half time, ready the second off. Judging by Manchester City standards, Paul, obviously they've made the 9 changes. Obviously, they've got the likes of Edison, Diaz, Stones, the captain Gundogan, Haaland, Grealish, Rodri, De Bruyne and Silva all on the bench who would probably walk into any of the Premier League sides in the league at the moment. Obviously, other than their own Manchester City side. Which one do you think of those, if any, would probably come on first for Pep Guardiola's side?
Well, I think he'll still want to rest his star players. So I think you might see the likes of Rodri, Bernardo Silva. I don't think he needs to make any changes right now, to be honest. But I think if he does, then he might go down that road. I think he still might play. He might pull on Gundogan. But it's right now. I just don't think he needs to make any changes. I think the way that City are playing is they're very impressive. They're doing very, very well. So we'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't look like City are making any changes out of the break. It doesn't look like Chelsea making any changes out of the break either. I'm now about to go and join Paul James for the second half. He's back over to you for the second half, Paul.
Thank you, Ross. And it's Alvarez there, just standing in the centre circle, just looking at Pep there, just talking over with his coaching staff. Chelsea are going to get the game back underway. They're going to be attacking the goal to our right in the second half. We'll go through the two teams here in just a moment. At the moment, it's just gone all the way back to Stefan Ortega, who gives it back to Aymeric Laporte. So just let's take a look at the City team. Stefan Ortega in goal, Gomez, Laporte, Akanji, Walker, Phillips, Lewis, Foden, Palmer, Mahrez and Alvarez. For Chelsea, it's Arrizabalaga, Chalobah, Silva, Fofana, Azpilicueta, Fernandes, Loftus-Cheek, Hall, Gallagher, Havertz and Sterling. Perhaps just some changes in mind in the formation, at least for Chelsea. Looks like they may have swung into a 3-4-1-2 formation as Bernardo Silva just warming up there on the far side. City have gone into a more of a 4-2-3-1 formation. Palmer just was doing very well on that left-hand side. He seems to have moved into a more central position now. And the ball is played long. And it's picked up here by Ruben Loftus-Cheek for Chelsea. Ruben Loftus-Cheek just drops it down on this near side to Azpilicueta. It's a good interception that time by Gomez, and it goes out of play off Conor Gallagher, and it's going to be a throw into Manchester City. And it's taken by Gomez. Gomez plays the ball forward, and it's just headed out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. And it's there is Pep Guardiola, and it's going to be Gomez taking the throw-in. He just finds Alvarez, and the ball is played forward. Chelsea just trying to win the ball back here. It's Sterling. The judge should have handled the ball, but the referee allows the game to continue. And it's Manuel Akanji. And the ball is back now, and it's played by Kyle Walker-Peters. Sorry, by Kyle Walker. And it's out of play. It's going to be a throw-in, and it's Cesar Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta takes a throw-in quickly, and he gives it to Wesley Fofana. Fofana goes all the way back to Azpilicueta, and it's back now with Kepa Arrizabalaga. And Arrizabalaga plays it down to Azpilicueta, and Azpilicueta just plays the ball forward out of play. And a throw into Manchester City. It's going to be taken by Sergio Gomez. Okay, and it's now with Gomez and with Alvarez. And Gomez wins the ball back again. Alvarez again tries to flick the ball back to Gomez, but now Chelsea can clear. And it's Ruben Loftus-Cheek now on the break if Chelsea can hurry. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's got 4 players up there along with him. One of them is Conor Gallagher. He's got Kai Havertz on this near side. Havertz just cuts across back to Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher goes down under pressure, but play will continue. And here is Cole Palmer. Palmer gives the ball to Foden. Foden back to Calvin Phillips. And here is the ball is played forward here, and it's Foden. And it's played back by Calvin Phillips. And just to give Russ's first impression of the second half, we've had 4 minutes. Russ, pretty much the same as the first, or do you see any difference in the way that Chelsea have approached this game?
I think it's going to be similar. At the moment, Chelsea have approached it a bit different. They're just trying to stop City from playing out from the back and trying to close them down a bit more. But City is still managing to get behind them quite a bit. So, one hand is Chelsea have changed their approach totally. On the other hand, it's like the first half. So, I'm not really sure of the opening few minutes because it's very hard to tell. If you ask me some sort of question in around about 15 minutes time, I'll probably be able to tell you a bit more definitive answer there, Paul.
Here's Rico Lewis. Lewis just gives it back to Foden. It's blocked. Foden's attempt down the edge of the area. He finds Cole Palmer. Palmer looking to get the cross in. Foden looks like he's just taken a knock. He's limping. Foden trying to get away. Palmer trying to get away from Azpilicueta. He's got Azpilicueta all over him like a rash. Palmer gives it to Calvin Phillips. Phillips over on the far side there. Under pressure was Mahrez, and Chelsea can break out now if they hurry. It's Raheem Sterling. He's got Havertz ahead of him. He's got Hall over on the far side. He finds Hall. Hall cuts inside, gets a shot away, but it's a good save by Stefan Ortega. Perhaps one he's expected to make. Russ, that was a quick breakout by Chelsea. Good work by them that time.
Yeah, brilliant play this time from Raheem Sterling. Bit better from Chelsea this. Bob played out wide to Lewis, who cut in from the left-hand side. Fired a shot which was comfortable in the end for Stefan Ortega, but bit better from Chelsea as they move forward. Just there.
And here's here is Cole Palmer. He just drops it back to Gomez. And Gomez gives it to Calvin Phillips. Forward to Foden. Foden got some space in front of him. He finds Alvarez in the penalty area. Oh, Alvarez slips at the vital moment. And now Wesley Fofana can come away with the ball. He gives it to Conor Gallagher. Gallagher into Kai Havertz. Havertz going over the halfway line. That was good work by Kai Havertz. Finds Raheem Sterling. Sterling under pressure. Is he fouled there? The referee says yes. Foul by Riyad Mahrez. Michael Oliver, the referee today, is practically been invisible the whole game, and this is one thing that I have to take my hat off to a referee like Michael Oliver. Russ, he generally is invisible throughout the whole game, and he's definitely the best referee we have in the Premier League right now, at least in my opinion. I don't know about you. I'll get your thoughts on that in a moment after this free kick. It's Enzo Fernandez over it right now. And Fernandez is going to just lift this into the penalty area. He's just looking at the options available. He's a good 35 yards out. He lifts it into the penalty area. Oh, there's a header by Chalobah, and it falls comfortably for Stefan Ortega. Michael Oliver, Ross?
For me, Paul, he is a good referee, but I wouldn't say I don't think he's probably the best in the league, because I'm not sure if any referees are good in the league, because some decisions go against your team, some go for your team, so some can be a bit inconsistent in giving one foul one game and not another foul the next game for exactly the same challenge. So I won't say there's any best in the division. I'll say some have the good days, some have the bad days, and so far today this is one of Michael Oliver's good days. Well,
it's with Manuel Akanji. Akanji gives the ball over on the far side to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker finds Rico Lewis. It's now with Phil Foden. As City moving 5 on 4, they hurry. Oh, it's a bad ball by Foden. And only finds Cesar Azpilicueta. And now Chelsea can break. That's a good challenge by Foden, who comes all the way back try to win that ball back. He gives away the foul, but I guarantee you the City fans will appreciate the effort. Here's Fernandez. He's got Kai Havertz down this near side with him. Havertz just drops it back to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta just drops it back in the midfield to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and he gives it to Sterling, back to Chalobah. Chalobah has it again. Over on the far side to Hall. Back to Chalobah. And it's down this near side to Thiago Silva. And here is Azpilicueta. Gives it back to Fofana. Chelsea just having some possession themselves for the time being. And finds Conor Gallagher. Gives it to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta, you are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's player of the match on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services, and Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for the season, JB Sports and Storm FM. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. And the ball is played forward, and it's picked up by I think that's Manuel Akanji in an advanced position there, and it goes all the way back to Stefan Ortega. And he's just dropped the ball down this near side now to Aymeric Laporte drops it back to Ortega, and Russ, we've had 10 minutes of the second half. We've seen Chelsea try to create some chances. Are you seeing an improvement in this second half so far by them? Oh, just before you give that, here's Kai Havertz. The ball is given away by City, and it's back onto the edge of the area to Sterling, but it's cleared away to Kyle Walker. Ross, just your point on that?
A little bit, Paul. You can see Chelsea have grown into this game now, soaking up the City pressure and catching City players offside as offside as they're trying to get the ball down there. Chelsea's left hand side, Man City's right there. City a moment ago, but Chelsea have started better, seem to be catching City players offside a bit more and closing them down a bit more. Now you see John Stones getting ready to be one of the first City changes in this game. Wonder who that's going to be for, 'cause I can't see of an injury to anyone of note unless it's going to be a tactical switch. We'll have to wait to see what that's going to be.
Yeah, it looks like it might be tactical. I don't see anybody with an injury here. Here is Hall. He goes all the way back to Arrizabalaga. Arrizabalaga just plays the ball over to Cesar Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta just plays the ball forward to Conor Gallagher, and Gallagher, as well as a foul there on Palmer, and it's going to be a free kick. And just interesting to see who that change might be for. It is John Stones coming on, and it's Manuel Akanji who's coming off. So Manuel Akanji is off. John Stones is on. He will be wearing number 5. If you're following on the screens while listening to the commentary. 56 minutes gone. That substitution has taken place. No changes yet from Frank Lampard for Chelsea. What do you make of that substitution?
Only change I can see really being made from there, Paul, after was because of an injury of some sort, or it could be tactical, but he wasn't really injured. He looked to be moving through, so I think it's just a tactical switch there from John Stones, for John Stones coming up.
Mahrez launches the ball in, and a header there by, that's a header by Calvin Phillips, and it hits the inside of the post, and it remains 1-0, but only just. Calvin Phillips again gets all on the edge of the area. Calvin Phillips back heel though, it only finds Conor Gallagher. But that was launched in, and we're going to have another look at that in a moment, and it just hit the inside of the post. Here's Raheem Sterling now for Chelsea. Sterling over on the far side to Hall. What can Chelsea do now? Lewis Hall with a shot. Fine save by Ortega down his left-hand side. Oh, Chelsea come close themselves to tying it up as well. Well, City was so close making it 2-0. Well, what a chance there, forcing a good save from Stefan Ortega, Ross.
Yeah, good save from Stefan Ortega there, Paul. Fantastic saving. I'll get back to the point in a moment.
Here's Sterling. Well, Sterling goes down in the penalty area, but Laporte comes away with it. You can go ahead and finish your point there, Ross.
Yes, sir, it was a fantastic save from Stefan Ortega. It was probably one that you would have probably expect him to make, where the shot came at him, but good save nevertheless. And Calvin Phillips, how unlucky was he? I thought he scored for a moment there, his first City goal, but how unlucky was he there from not scoring his first City goal there from Calvin Phillips? That was so unlucky as Palmer just slipped there.
And here's Conor Gallagher now. Gallagher just slips it to Kai Havertz. Havertz, he just drops it back to Cesar Azpilicueta. And it's back to Wesley Fofana. So still somehow it remains 1-0. And here's Raheem Sterling. Sterling plays the ball out the far side to Lewis Hall. He's played the ball across. And Stefan Ortega gets down there and makes that save as Erling Haaland is warming up and waving to the crowd. So both sides hit the woodwork. Stefan Ortega's had to make a couple of decent saves, and what we're seeing here is both sides creating chances, and but still there's only one goal in this, and with an hour gone, well, it's I think this can swing either way, because I think Chelsea have played a lot better in the second half. They've certainly come out and been a bit more aggressive. Here is John Stones. Stones plays the ball forward over the halfway line, and it's Mahrez down this near side to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer, he's got some space in front of him. Can he get into the penalty area? He's been a danger all afternoon rather. His first attempt was blocked, but he gets the ball back. He gives the ball to Gomez, back to Phillips, and then back to Laporte. Here's Stones. And he slips there almost to Gomez, and he almost gives the ball away, but the ball bounces back to Aymeric Laporte, who's just inside his own half. And Laporte, and he's got Palmer alongside him, but Laporte, he just drops it back to Palmer this time, and Palmer just brings it back across to Stones, and Stones just slipped it back to Foden, and here's Gomez, and it's back now. Okay, so it's down on the far side to Mahrez. Mahrez cuts inside, and he gives it to Phillips. Phillips back to Gomez. Gomez to Palmer. Palmer, and it's now with Laporte. Laporte give it to Foden. Foden over on the far side to Phillips. Now over to Kyle Walker, and it's back with Phillips. Slow build-up play by City. Phillips, he has it just right back on the halfway line, and he gives it to Foden. Gets the 1-2 off him. And it's back into the Manchester City half. We're looking at the shots on target. City have actually only had 1 on target. They've had 11 attempts. Chelsea have had 8 attempts and 4 on target. So it's an interesting stat as well right there. Here is Alvarez. Alvarez, he's dispossessed by Conor Gallagher. Now here's Havertz. Havertz just drops it back to... it's a break is on now. And Sterling. Sterling breaking forward now. He's got options up there with him, Gallagher and Havertz, but Sterling had the shot, but it was a disappointing effort and goes straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, and that's a good piece of goalkeeping. Sorry, that's a poor shot there by Sterling, Ross, as we look again at that header from Calvin Phillips. So unlucky.
Yes, so unlucky there, Calvin Phillips, but that was a weak effort there from Raheem Sterling. As we'll see the effort earlier on from Chelsea at the other end when Lewis Hall went close. So that was a good effort there as well, and a good save from Ortega. But that chance there from Sterling was a tame one in the end, and was never really troubling Ortega in the City goal. It's going to be a long evening for Chelsea, I think, Paul.
Well, it is. It's at the moment. It's still only 1-0 though. piece of magic can change this game completely. But so far, City still dominating possession. But they really, according to the stats, they've only had the one shot on goal, which of course was the goal itself. But they still dominate in possession, and they can create chances when they have the ball. They know how to strike. It's back with Ortega now. City will once again build up from the back. And Ortega just taking his time on the ball, and he just drops it to Gomez, and it's now given to Laporte, and then hacked forward. And looking for this now, but it's well, Foden was never going to get there, and in the end it goes through to Kepa Arrizabalaga. And we're looking at Ilkay Gundogan warming up as perhaps more changes coming along the way for Manchester City. But Erling Haaland has also, and here's a chance now for Raheem Sterling. Can he turn Walker? He can, and it's off the line. Oh, it just beat the goalkeeper, and it looks like it's offside anyway. But let's just take a look at that again. This came from out of nowhere. It looks like Sterling may have just been slightly offside from the pass, and Sterling was through, and he just turned it away from Walker. It was going into the net, but John Stones just cut across and made the clearance on the line. Just offside for you, Russ?
Yeah, it was just offside there, Paul, and it was very unlucky. If you'd have done that one better, it would have kind of cleared off line by Stones anyway. So very unlucky. And it's good to see the relationship. There's still got a bit of banter after that shot was cleared off the line by John Stones, between Stones and Sterling there, Paul.
Alrighty, so it's Aymeric Laporte, and it's given to Phil Foden. Foden trying to cut across to find Alvarez, but Chelsea clear the ball away, but only as far as Gomez, and it's back with Laporte. Laporte gives it to John Stones. Stones, Rico Lewis. Gomez, is he fouled there? The referee says yes, it's going to be a free kick. The ball kicked away by Thiago Silva. I wonder whether that will warrant him a booking. It looks like it has. And it's the second Chelsea player to go into the book. It's actually Conor Gallagher who's heading it, though. It's not. It's obviously not for the ball being kicked away. It looks like for the original foul by Conor Gallagher, yes. So Gallagher goes into the book, and he's a second Chelsea player. Fernandes also appears to have been booked too. Not sure what that was for, probably dissent. So Enzo Fernandez goes in there as well. So Gallagher booked and Fernandes booked. And it's picked up now by Calvin Phillips. Phillips plays the ball forward. Also looking for Mahrez in the penalty area. He brings it down well as Mahrez, but he's determined to be offside. So we've got a few more players added into the book, and it looks like we've got a couple of substitutions coming up. Madueke is coming on, as is Mudryk, and I think that's what we suggested, Russ.
Well, certainly Mudryk we did suggest, but I didn't think Madueke would come on just yet. It doesn't look like either of them are coming on at the moment. Chelsea are sticking with what they've got out on the field just there to see if they can change a bit longer before those subs are made. But right now we're not seeing Madueke and Mudryk come on just yet for Chelsea.
Yeah, they're stripped off on the sidelines. I don't think it'll be too long. Especially if it stays the same. That's gone all the way back to Stefan Ortega from just inside the Chelsea half of the field, and that was by Calvin Phillips. And here is Kyle Walker. Walker drops it back to John Stones. Stones down this near side here, and it's Aymeric Laporte. Just plays the ball forward to Cole Palmer. Palmer back to Laporte, and it's back with Ortega, and well, John Stones is looking for options. He played the ball long there. He's looking for Alvarez. That's a good piece of defending by Fofana, but not really good enough. It's squared across. It's going to be put in by Mahrez, but it's offside. It's not going to count. Well, yeah, let's have a look at this. And it's Alvarez again. It's probably for the push there on Fofana when he played the ball across, and Mahrez was there to put the ball in the net. Clear push there, Russ.
Yeah, clear push there, Paul, from Julian Alvarez, and Chelsea were feeling for it, and he just went off as we see Sterling, and it looks as though Gallagher are going to be the two players to come off for Madueke and Mudryk here for Chelsea.
Yeah, it's Gallagher and Sterling off they come, and Mudryk and Mudweka come on for Chelsea. You have to say it's not surprising, Russ, given the fact that we've only got 22 minutes left. Chelsea are still just behind the 8 ball here.
Yeah,
And here,
not much in terms of no surprises with those two substitutions there, Paul.
and there's Havertz with a shot. Sorry, Russ. Havertz with a shot, and it's a comfortable save by the goalkeeper Ortega. Sorry, Russ. Finish your point.
Yeah, no real surprises with the substitutions. Sterling has gone a couple of times, missed probably Chelsea's probably biggest chances in the second half, and Gallagher is not really going to this game in the second half much, so I can understand why both of those have been substituted.
So Mudweka will wear 31. Mudryk wears number 15. So if you're watching from the pictures, just listening to the commentary, here's Rico Lewis, and he drops it back to Calvin Phillips. Phillips gives it back to John Stones. John Stones to Kyle Walker, and it's now back with Kyle Walker again. And the ball is out on the far side to Walker, and once again he's just dropping it back right now. City are just just building up from the back. It's for them, it's a pretty comfortable time in possession. They're not really impressed by Chelsea all that much. And you are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's player on the match sponsored on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services, which Russ will pick for you in about 15 minutes time. And don't forget to follow us on Commentary Services. Would like to thank our broadcasting partners for the season, JB Sports and Storm FM. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. Some marketing duties done for this game. And it's back with Stefan Ortega. And he's right on the edge of his 6-yard box there with Stefan Ortega. He clears the ball downfield. It's long, and he's looking there for Mahrez. Mahrez is in the penalty area. He gets the ball across. It's turned in by Alvarez. It's 2-0 to Manchester City. And Julian Alvarez gets his second goal. 71 minutes on. And Julian Alvarez, well, as if things can't get are not any worse for Chelsea. I see Erling Haaland stripping off that. It doesn't look like VAR are going to look at this. We may just get a VAR check. Let's just take a look at this again. Julian Alvarez is the goal scorer. The ball is played across by Mahrez. And Alvarez just tucks it in. They're claiming a couple of different things here. Possible handball. There it is. That's a handball. That needs to be taken back. Russ, that was a clear handball there. You saw that on the replay. What do you think?
Yeah, clear handball, and also they're looking for potential offside as well. No offside there initially, first and foremost. As we'll go back to that one first. Clear handball there. The referee, Michael Oliver, has been sent to the screen here, pitch side of the Etihad. For me, it's handball, and the score should be chalked off here. We'll wait to see what the VAR gives.
Yeah, he didn't look at it for more than a second. It was like I went over there, saw the picture of the ball on the hand, and that was enough. So it is still 1-0. The substitutes are going to be made now. We are going to see Riyad Mahrez making way for Erling Haaland, which I honestly didn't think we'd see Haaland today, Ross, but he's coming on for Mahrez.
Yeah, I think probably what he wanted to do. We've been only 1-0, Paul. I think he wants to get this game wrapped up by 2 or 3 goals, and you can probably see Haaland creating some of the chances which Chelsea, when City have gone behind Chelsea, and some of the chances where City have been failing to score from them. So I'm wondering if that's probably the reason behind it. But me, like yourself, Paul, I wasn't expecting to see Haaland today, and there's his dad outfitting at Haaland, applauding his son coming on to the midfield of players. He replaces Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez, on the other hand, has had a fantastic goal. Well, no goal, fantastic appearance today. Looked very, very good down that right hand side for Manchester City, and it's going to be causing a few problems as well.
Well, Haaland, of course, wears number 9, but City breaking forward again now. And this time it's Alvarez, and he slips it through to Haaland. Haaland pulls it across, but they're on the back post, unable to put it in. I'm just trying to see that was it's Rico Lewis. Well, a chance there, Ross. If you look at this again, Haaland making an immediate impact. The pass to Haaland split the Chelsea defence. He pulls it across as Haaland. Oh, Lewis not able to make the touch. Another chance for City there, Ross.
Yeah, good bit of play. You see the run that Haaland did. Broke the Chelsea players, defenders apart to create that gap for the ball to be played through to him. And Lewis just needs to gamble there. Gamble would be a bit quicker than gamble, and he would have probably scored.
Mweka gets in the penalty area and he gets a shot blocked by Stones. And it just falls into the arms of Stefan Ortega, just bounces up in the air really. And Haaland is now on to try to wrap this contest up. And Chelsea are now, well, if things weren't difficult enough for Chelsea, they've now got Erling Haaland on 36 league goals this season. It's unbelievable, Ross. He's been pretty much undefendable all season, really.
Yes, only real couple of games where, for me, where I haven't really seen a Man City where he's not really scored. Obviously, the one against Leeds where he missed an handful of chances. He didn't score in the first leg against Real Madrid either. So those are the only two I can remember off the top of my head. There may be some more as well, but he's just been a phenomenal player, and I think he's the reason why Man City have gotten yet another Premier League title.
Yeah, and depending, of course, on how long he remains. And, well, Chelsea must be looking to the heavens because it's going to get worse for them. Here comes Kevin and Rodri. So another substitution and double substitution for City. It's Rodri and De Bruyne coming on, and City are going all out to end this game. Ross, I mean that's we know that De Bruyne supplies a lot of goals for Haaland, so we can see what's on the cards here. As here comes Kyle Walker. Walker is almost stopped in his tracks by Hall, but it finds I'm not sure who that is on the far side, but he's just found. He's found Alvarez, and Alvarez has had a goal and one chopped out today. Finds Foden, gives it back to Alvarez, back to Foden. Foden just drops it back to Calvin Phillips, back to Foden. He tries to slip the ball back to Foden, but it comes back now to Alvarez with a shot, and it's well, he spilt it, but generally a comfortable save by Kepa Arrizabalaga. De Bruyne and Rodri. Who do you think's come after us?
Well, first and foremost, Paul, I didn't expect to see either of those players today. For Kevin De Bruyne, I would probably have to go say someone like Cole Palmer, maybe, and for Rodri, I'd say Calvin Phillips.
Well, it's going to be Gomez is one. And the other is Laporte. So it's Gomez and Laporte making way. So that's kind of more of an attacking substitution, really. And Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri are on. And what do you make of that, Ross?
Interesting substitutions. I wasn't expecting those substitutions to be made. I thought he'd probably go like for like. Well, maybe the players that he's just took off there have played majority of the games this season, especially Aymeric Laporte. Gomez has played in bits here and there, so I can see why he wants to take those off. And I think the reason why he's left Phillips and he's not played much this season.
Okay, well here's Mweka. He gives it to Aspilicueta. and it's back to Azpilicueta with a cross, looking for it is Havertz, but it's headed up into the air and hacked away by Phil Foden. And with 12 minutes to go, it'll be here comes Haaland. Oh, he's just dispossessed, and here's Mudryk. Nice pass there to Madueke. Madueke trying to find Havertz, but Stefan Ortega comes out and claims that. Well, we've got 11 minutes left, Ross. Time to get your thinking cap on. I'll be asking you for the man of the match in about 7 or 8 minutes' time. And
I've already got a player in mind, Paul, for the player of the match. We could change between now and then. I've got one out already, but we could change between now and then.
All right, well, we'll wait to get that information off you. All good things come to he who waits. And our listeners and myself will have to wait another several minutes before we get that information. Here is number 16, Rodri. Yes, so Rodri is wearing the number 16, and De Bruyne, of course, wears number 17. Okay, and here is Rodri. He seems to have sat back in sort of a holding midfield role as he plays the ball long, looking for Haaland. It's cleared up by Thiago Silva, and he gives the ball to Kepa. And Wesley Fofana gets the ball off Kepa. He gives it back to him. This time, Arrizabalaga goes for the long ball, but Trevor Chalobah now still having to clear up around Cole Palmer. And Chelsea breaking forward with Enzo Fernandez, who slips the ball forward here to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's got Madueke now. Madueke getting into the penalty area. Can he get across it? Across the face of the goal goes Madueke, and it's just away from Kai Havertz. Well, that's a good run there, Ross, by Madueke. We're just going to see another another double substitution by Chelsea. It is the number 26. I'm just not quite sure who that is. Hull is off.
All is off for Koulibaly there, Paul. Koulibaly's just come on. Kalidou Koulibaly's just come on for Lewis Hall. And number 12, Ruben Loftus-Cheek is off for number 30. Carney Chukwuemeka is the other substitution for Chelsea.
Right, Chukwuemeka and Kalidou Koulibaly. So Koulibaly comes on. He's been injured for a long period of time as Koulibaly. He wears number 26. Chukwuemeka will wear number 30. And yes, he's been out for a while as Koulibaly with an injury. So it's as I think Chelsea fans will certainly welcome him back, Ross.
Yeah, I think they will, Paul, because he's a really good defender and a no-nonsense defender. I think they've really missed him when he's been out of the side, and it's good to see him back today.
And it looks like that is Chelsea's fourth substitution. They've both made 4 now. The ball is played long, looking for Kai Havertz, and it just goes all the way through to Stefan Ortega, and Kai Havertz trying to just get under the skin of Stefan Ortega, and that is not going to work, and Stefan Ortega just releases the ball. And it's out on the far side there, and here is Phil Foden. Phil Foden is dispossessed by Azpilicueta. Fernandez plays the ball on, looking for Madueke, but it's a poor ball, and it goes behind for a goal kick. So, Ross, you can see there Pep Guardiola, what a season it's been for him. And I think if you are looking at this, you've got to be wondering what the future holds for Pep Guardiola. How long he's going to remain at City before he tries on another challenge? Can you see being at City for much longer? What's your view on that?
I think he'll be there for at least one more season, as if they don't win the Champions League, say if they lose out to Inter Milan, because I think he'll want to leave having won the Champions League, because I think that's one of the sole aims he's come to Man City for. So if they don't win the Champions League this season, I think he'll remain one more season. If not, I think he may leave at the end of this season, but You never know in football. I may say he could end up leaving at the end of this season. He could end up staying for another 2 seasons. I could say he could leave end of next season. I could stay for another 3 seasons or leave this summer. But nobody knows. All the people that will know about his future is Pep Guardiola himself, his agent, and Manchester City as well.
Okay, well, here's Kai Havertz just clears the ball forward, and it's Kevin De Bruyne, and he goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. And here's Kyle Walker. And he just gives the ball to Rico Lewis. Lewis just gives the ball to, on the far side there, to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne slips it inside to Alvarez, who's got the only goal of the game so far. He's also had one disallowed. And it's back with Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne goes back to Walker, and here is Calvin Phillips. He gives it to De Bruyne. De Bruyne gives it back to Phillips, as we are in the 85th minute here now. It's Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0 at the City of Manchester Stadium, and it's Alvarez. Alvarez just going. Oh, he just gets challenged there by Koulibaly, but it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester City, level with the Chelsea penalty area. Final substitution coming up for Chelsea, and is Christian Pulisic, who is coming on, and Kai Havertz is the man to replace him. So Christian Pulisic, of course, wears number 10. And he comes on now as the last substitution for Chelsea. I think you mentioned at half-time that might happen, Ross. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's the right decision because Christian Pulisic has got a bit more fresh legs and got a bit more pace about him, in my opinion, compared to Kai Havertz. So I think it's the right decision from Frank Lampard to fetch on Christian Pulisic, especially after he's just coming back from injury as well. Give him some minutes before the end of the season.
Good challenge by Koulibaly then on Kevin De Bruyne, and it looks like it's going to be a corner. And Kevin De Bruyne will take this corner. It's going to be outswung, I think, and you've got Haaland in there, you've got Rodri in there, and Alvarez as well. So we're just going to see this one swung in. Calvin Phillips is there as well. So actually short this time. And now the cross comes in by De Bruyne, looking for Haaland. He gets up there with the header. It's headed down by Calvin Phillips, only as far as Rico Lewis. Alvarez swings the ball in. It's headed up into the air, but it only bounces to John Stones. The shot was blocked. It comes right out to Alvarez with a strike, but he blazed it over the bar. Disappointing for Julian Alvarez. He'll have wanted to have done better with that, Russ.
Yeah, should have done a lot better there, Julian Alvarez. We just see this again. Ball back into the penalty area, edges back across, comes back across to the back post to Alvarez, and he just sliced at it, which went over the bar and not on target there, Paul.
All right. Well, City have the ball back again with Rodri, and he gives it to Calvin Phillips, and it's back with John Stones. As really Manchester City. Really, this is almost like a training ground when they get the ball like this, and they just knock the ball around. And Phillips just gives it back to John Stones. Stones goes back to the goalkeeper Ortega, and he clears. And it's just picked up now by Koulibaly. Koulibaly's ball is a disappointing one, comfortably intercepted by Calvin Phillips. And here's Alvarez, and he slips the ball to Phil Foden. Foden, he's under pressure there. Is he fouled by Azpilicueta? The answer is yes. That's going to be a free kick. And here is Alvarez. Rodri. He just gives the ball to John Stones. And Stones just slips it back. Now with... I'm just seeing who that is. It's Rodri. And Rodri plays the ball over on the far side. And it's Walker chasing this one now. Haaland is storming into the middle. Can he find him? Walker gets across it. Looks like it's taken a deflection and has gone behind for a corner. After this corner, we're going to get Russ's player of the match, but we're just going to see this corner first of all. So, just see. Just wait. We're looking at Foden right now. It's difficult to tell if even a corner has been given. It should have been. It was a deflection. It looks like that corner has not been given. And then Russ will get your player of the match.
Yes, for the player of the match here on the commentary of today, sponsored by Commentary Services, is Manchester City's number 80, Cole Palmer. Fantastic display from the young man, a fantastic performance put in today. One of the best players on the pitch in a Citizen shirt. He's had to be one of the Citizens. Another one play up there for player of the match for some of the saves he's made in the second half. For me, will have to be Stefan Ortega, but for me, the overall player of the match, Manchester City's number 80, Cole Palmer.
Well, I have to say I agree with that. If you're listening and you want to comment in the comment section on your views on the player of the match, please feel free to do so. I'll read them out. Just keep them nice and clean and respectable, and we'll read them out if you want to make your thoughts on the player of the match. But here's Madueke. He gives the ball now to Mudryk, and Mudryk gets the shot away, but he blazes it over the crossbar. Disappointing by Mudryk, and Frank Lampard turned away in disgust. And, well, they've had the chances, Chelsea, haven't they? And they just haven't taken them.
Yeah, they've had the chances, Chelsea. No, as you say, Paul, they've not taken them. And that was another one where they had a chance there and not taking it. Those chances, I said, those chances could come back to own them. City have had some chances and not taking them as well. That could come back to own City, but it won't matter if City don't take their chances. They've got the job done already that they set out to do at the start of the season, which was winning the league and winning to stop yourself. Now, no word on how many minutes has been added on at the end of this for this second half, but Man City are now in dreamland and they're very open doors now, and they're just almost ready to have a party.
Well, the fourth official, Robert Jones, has given 3 minutes stoppage time, and we've already almost played a minute of that. It's back now with Alvarez, and Alvarez goes back to the goalkeeper as we are just ticking it down now for when this game will be over and the trophy presentation will be being shown. That'll be covered by Russ, and you'll get to hear that on the commentary hub today. This is it's a great moment for Manchester City. Only one of a few clubs that have actually won the top flight 3 times in a row. I think that's a good question. I'm going to ask that one to Ross. He's a stat guy. I know Manchester United have done it, and I believe Liverpool have done it. But is there any more, or am I wrong on that?
What was the question again, Paul? What did you want to know?
Well, Manchester City are winning the Premier League title for the 3rd year in a row. There's only a few other teams that have won it won the top flight 3 years in a row. I'd be interested to see who the other teams are.
Yes, I'll try and find that out for you, Paul, before the end of the program.
All right. Well, I believe Manchester United are one of them, and I also want to say Liverpool are one of them. But I don't know if there's any others. But if I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong, because I'm only about 70% sure. Here's Rico Lewis. Drops it to John Stones. Stones. He's just going to go back to Stan Ortega.
But while the ball's just been knocked around to the bad by Manchester City, not much happening. Roger just keeping the ball there. The last few this is a Championship Premier League champions since 92 to 93. So it's Man United 92, 93, 93, 94. Then it was Blackburn Rovers 94, 95. Manchester United did it in 95, 96. 96, 97 was Man United as well. 97, 98 was Arsenal. 98, 99 was Man United. They did it from 98, 99, 99, 2000, 2000, 2001. Then Arsenal did it in 2001, 02. 02, 03 was Man United. 03, 04 was Arsenal. 04, 05 and 05, 06 was Chelsea. 06, 07 0708, 0809 was Manchester United. And I'll just break off those just came in.
Yeah, so Azpilicueta just gets it on the back post there, but it goes behind. We just looks like it's going to be a corner now because it looks like it came off Phil Foden's mask. So Azpilicueta being shoved around there and doing a few shots of his own. We've had the 3 minutes of stoppage time, and it's going to be a corner. And the corner is going to be outswung here by Mudryk. And there's a header by Koulibaly. And it's just over the crossbar. That was not Koulibaly, that was Chuck Mweka. But it's headed over the crossbar. And that might be the last chance for Chelsea. As they are staring down the barrel at another defeat. Well, for Chelsea, their own performances have not been fantastic. Only one win now in the last 6 games, and it's full time, and that confirms it. It's Manchester United 1, Chelsea 0. Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. And Julian Alvarez goal on 19 minutes is the difference. A disallowed goal in the second half on 71 minutes as there's a pitch invasion here as they try to get the players off the pitch as quickly as possible. Julian Alvarez's goal on 71 minutes was ruled out for handball by Riyad Mahrez. But Chelsea have had their chances and it's full time here. It's Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. And Ross, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Paul. We'll continue with that champions to line up. 0607, 0708, 0809 was Manchester United. 0910 was Chelsea. 2010-11 was Manchester United. 11-12 was Man City. 12-13 was Manchester United. 13-14 was City. 14-15 was Chelsea. 15-16 was a remarkable Leicester City title-winning campaign. 16-17 was Chelsea. 2017-18 Man City. 18-19 Man City. 19-20 Liverpool. And then the last 3 seasons, so 2020-2021, 21-22 and 22-23, it has been Manchester City. So, Paul, all the Manchester United have won it 3 times in a row, twice since it became the Premier League in 1992-93 season, the first season from that. But Paul, just touching on this Manchester City thing before Man City today winning the title overall and the game today. What's been your thoughts on the game? Because for me, City never really got to second gear and got the job done in the end.
Well, I don't think they really needed to, but I think Chelsea in the second half were much more improved. They were better in the second half. They created chances. They forced some saves from Stefan Ortega, but they didn't take their chances. And as a result, City went on to win 1-0. And you see the crowd on the pitch now, and you can kind of see everybody's in a buoyant, jolly mood right now, as this is the 3rd Premier League title. And I got to be honest with you, Ross, looking at this team, this team's probably going to continue to go on and win it again and again. From a personal point of view, we could be seeing the Premier League turn into the German Bundesliga.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. I agree with that. We've just one team dominating in now because City have just supplying money after money after money to get the titles done. We'll go through some of the other results now, Paul, and then we'll fetch you back in on the game and City's season as a whole, with only a few games left to go. As we just see a shot of Karen Phillips speaking to the TV cameras, his first major trophy of his career since the move from Leeds United to Manchester City. Arised, he'll be disappointed with what's happening with Leeds United. We'll touch upon that as well in a moment or two, Paul, but let's just go through the other results and then we'll fetch you back in just a second. So let's go through the results from today's match. Let's start with the WSL first of all. He finished Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0, Everton 2, Brighton 1, Aston Villa 3, Liverpool 3, Leicester 1, West Ham 2, and Manchester United v Man City is an evening kick-off at 6:45 UK time. In Spanish La Liga, just to go through those results for you, Barcelona 1, Espanyol 2, Atletico Madrid 3, Osasuna 0. 28 minutes on the clock is Valencia 0, Real Madrid 0. In the German Bundesliga today, Mainz 1, Stuttgart 4, Augsburg 0, Borussia Dortmund 1, Leverkusen v Mönchengladbach is an half-past 6 kick-off. Italian Serie A to tell you about: Lecce 0, Spezia 0, Torino 1, Fiorentina 1, Napoli 0, Inter 0 is at half-time, Udinese Lazio is an evening kick-off at 7:45. In the French League 1, Ajaccio 0, Rennes 5, Brest 2, Clermont 1, Nice 0, Toulouse 0, Reims 2, Angers 2, Troyes 1, Strasbourg 1, Lorient 1, Lens 3. Auxerre against PSG is an evening kick-off at 7:45. In the FA Trophy final is currently 86 minutes on the clock. Halifax Town 1, Gateshead 0 is the score there. England under-17s are playing later tonight. We'll tell you about their progress in the under-17 European Championships. Just go through some MLS scores for you. Charlotte 1, Nashville 2, DC United 3, LA Galaxy 0, FC Cincinnati 3, Columbus Crew 2, Inter Miami 1, Orlando City 3, New York Red Bulls 2, Montreal 1, Philadelphia Union 3, New England Revolution 0, Austin FC 1, Toronto FC 0, Chicago Fire 3, Atlanta United 3, FC Dallas 1, Houston Dynamo 1, Colorado Rapids 2, Real Salt Lake 3, and St. Louis City 4, Sporting Kansas City 0, Los Angeles FC 2, San Jose Earthquakes 1, Portland Timbers 0, Minnesota United 1, Vancouver 2, Seattle Sounders 0 there as well from those leagues. Championship, Scottish Championship, Hibernian 1, Rangers 3 is the other result there. Let me just touch on the results in this European Under-17 Championships. Group B, Spain 3, Slovenia 1 is a full-time score. Serbia, Italy is an evening kick-off at 7 o'clock. Croatia against Switzerland in Group D of the Under-17 European Championships. Croatia 1, Switzerland 2. England, Young England side are taking on the Netherlands, and that's at 7 p.m. UK time this evening. We'll keep you across all that. There's also been some FIFA under-20 women's, not under-20 World Cup action as well. We'll try and keep you up to date with what that's going like. Group C and Group D action later today in there. Yesterday's results from the opening night of the 20 World Cup played out in Argentina. USA 1, Ecuador 0, Guatemala 0, New Zealand 1, Argentina 2, Uzbekistan 1, and Fiji 0, Slovakia 0. Today is Nigeria against Dominican Republic. Israel against Colombia, both of those first two kick off at 7. Then at 10 o'clock is Senegal versus Japan and Italy versus Brazil. All times mentioned are UK times as well. And Luke Turton's been on. Paul, good afternoon to you, Luke. Hopefully you're doing okay, my friend. And Paul, just want to get your thoughts on what Luke said here, my friend. He says, every City fan who invaded the pitch, their C numbers should be recorded and they should get banned. Utterly stupid. But everyone knows this sort of situation, it happens week in, every single year when anything like this happens, whether it's promotion, title winners, staying up on the final day, everything, this all happens. But do you think Luke has a point with that?
Yeah, look, why did it need to come onto the pitch? I don't understand. Why did it need to come running onto the pitch? Why can they not cheer from the stands? Why did it need to come running on the pitch and throwing themselves on the ground and generally forcing everybody then to get the play? Look at him. This is pointless now. They're still on there. They're still on there. Yes, every single one of them should have their seat numbers recorded and banned.
Yes, it's interesting to see if that does happen. And we're just going to break off from the Premier League a moment just to give you the England under-17s team news for their game later. Unfortunately, we'll not be bringing you commentary on that match tonight, but the under-17 team news for today's game against the Netherlands for the young Lioness, for the young Three Lions. In goal is Thomas Epford, Josh Achpom, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Lakayo Samuel, Bishop Samuel Smith, Archie Gray, Leon Chiwome, Michael Golding, Ethan Namwere, Yaden Magoma, and Tyler Diblin is the team. They're the substitutes for the young Lions is Samoto Boniface, Justin Abavadu, Ted Curd, Isaiah Dyer Maskell, Murph Jemadai, Philly McAllister, Keanu Dyer, Zakaria Lovelace, and Caden Young. Kick-off is at 7 o'clock for that one. You can stay across our Twitter feed with that one as we bring you the updates across on our Twitter feed for that game this evening. And if anyone, and we will bring you the City title presentation, trophy presentation very, very shortly. We're sure when that will take place, as there's still some fans on the field of play right now. Well, Paul, let's just talk about Man City's title winning side. There's some good players in the squad that's been on show throughout the season. Which have been the standouts for you, Paul, and what stood out most about those compared to some of the other players that have got in the team?
Well, you can't not mention Erling Haaland. He's been outstanding, but for me, Kevin De Bruyne, for me, has been an outstanding player all season. I still maintain he's the best midfielder in the world, and I still maintain he's one of the best passers in the world. And he's assisted on a number of Haaland's goals this season. It's for me, he's been. You can't argue. I mean, okay, people will call me stupid if I say he's the most outstanding because obviously Haaland's goals, 36 league goals this season, are the difference. But I just want to take my hat off to Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. If you also some other key players in the side was Messi to tick throughout the season, Ilkay Gundogan, Rodri as well, Phil Foden also as well. We will get the trophy presentation that's coming up shortly. Trophy celebrations and presentation for Manchester City after winning the Premier League title. They won it because of Arsenal losing yesterday, but even if Arsenal did pick up a win yesterday, they would have won it today with a 1-0 win over Chelsea this afternoon. We're going to quickly turn our attentions away from this game for a moment, and we're going to hear, if we can in just a moment, from Leeds United captain for the day, Luke Ayling, on his side's 3-1 defeat at West Ham. We'll get you that in just a second. We're just going to try and fetch you that now. We're just going to see if we can fetch it for you in just a second or so. We'll hear from Luke Ayling as Leeds fell to a 3-1 defeat to West Ham earlier today. And as soon as the trophy presentation is being made, we will bring it to you here on the commentary with myself and Paul and James, and we'll discuss that in a bit more detail as we get ready now to hear from the Leeds United captain for today, Luke Ayling. He's been speaking after the game earlier today against West Ham United.
Came here to win. How disappointed are you to be leaving with nothing?
Yeah, very disappointed. We started the game well. We got 1-0 up, and then we conceded a goal again, and then we come out half time and we feel okay, and then the second half's just not good enough. We just, we just can't seem to go again. Then we put so much into the first half, and in the second half we just have nothing. So it's very disappointing.
Yeah, as you said there, you start the game so well with such intensity. Can you put your finger on where that has slipped?
Yeah, I think in year goes past, and I think teams have feared us when it comes to running point of view and our fitness and stuff, and I just don't feel like it's there. And this season, then we start so well. We started bright. We score a goal. Then they score a goal. Just in like that can happen at this level. But then we come out for the second half, and then we just can't go again. So yeah, it was just just that was very disappointing.
When you look back, particularly over the last couple of months of games, do you think that's also been a problem, what you've referenced there?
I'm not sure. It comes down to a whole season, and we haven't been good enough. But there's still a little bit of hope. We got to grab onto that, and we got to go again next week because there still is a tiny little bit of hope.
Well, you went in at the break with hope here. It was 1-1. You finished the half well. What's happened in that second half to concede 2 more?
Oh no, we did not know where we are, so we're pushing to try and get that second goal, and then we leave it a bit open at the back, and then they get a goal, and then we're gung ho trying to get back into the game, and then we concede a real bad third goal. So yes, I don't know.
As you said, though, there is still hope. 1 game remaining. What does this result do, though, to those hopes of survival?
Slims it down a little bit, but there still is hope. We just got to go out there and try to take care of our business and hope for the best, really. But we know it's a slim chance, but we got to hang on to that and try to go out in a good way because the fans deserve that. Especially at home. So we're gonna have to try and give it all next week.
Yeah, we saw some of those heads dropping at the end. What kind of challenge do you face as a team trying to find that hope ahead of that game?
Yeah, I think now and for for a few days it's going to be hard to get up for it. But we need to make sure as the week goes on, we get our heads in the right place, and then we go out there and try and win a game of football.
There is the thoughts of Luke Ayling, the Leeds United captain, following his side's 3-1 defeat to West Ham United earlier today. We'll try and feature the thoughts of Sam Allardyce before we leave the programme as well, so you can hear what the Leeds United manager has to say there. And Paul James, you just heard there from the Leeds United captain, Luke Ayling. What do you reckon to his interview there? For me, he seemed downbeat. He seemed like he said we've got to cling on to a little bit of hope that's left there. What do you think of that interview there from Luke Ayling? Do you think there's things like the majority of the fan base that the Premier League survival race is now over for the club?
Yeah, to me, it sounds like it's all. He's just listening to him there. Sounds like he's ruled out any chance of survival. He may turn around and say there's a little bit of hope, but just in that language alone, tells me he seems to have accepted defeat.
Yes, and that's what Luke has said there as well, and he's also coming with about Nottingham Forest, saying Forest are magic on and off the pitch, and he repeated it as well. Just want to give a big shout out to FC Halifax Town. They beat Gateshead by 1-0 in the FA Trophy this evening. Congratulations to them. They've secured silverware of the Shaman in the end of their game today. So I think I agree with what you and Luke said. I think some of the Leeds fans have resigned to defeat. I think I'm resigned to now, thinking that we played our last game in the Premier League for the foreseeable future. I think we could be in the Championship. Hopefully, maybe we'll be back in a year's time. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see about that one. Luke said we're lacking leadership, and I don't know if Luke, I know you said you probably were going to watch that game. I don't know if you saw that game, but since we lost Bamford, the all dynamic changed to Leeds. We didn't have any players to hold up the ball with in the game against West Ham early. West Ham won that game by 3-1. If you're just joining us here on the commentary hub, and West Ham didn't really have to do much. Get out to second gear for the second half, and we in Leeds slot. Well, we're being shaped after that. The third goal for me for West Ham was offside. I want to see the second one again, whether, for me, I think that's offside as well. We'll have to wait I know they drew the lines and said it was onside, but I want to see it again, see if you show it from a different angle later on, if I try and find a different some highlights from a different angle. But it's interesting to see if that was offside. I know some people have said to me that it was onside. I think it might have just been off. But the second one, the third goal for West Ham, I think was offside, and who knows if Bamford had stayed on, would have probably got something from that game. But who knows in that one there as well. And we'll come back on to Luke's point in a moment about we've just seen some of the goals from Man City throughout this season. Erling Haaland there, Gundogan scoring some big goals as well throughout the season to help City on the way. We're going to lift it in a moment, as we just saw them winning last week against Everton then, and obviously won today. They won it without kicking a ball since they last played against Everton. 3 times in a row Man City have got the title, and on foot to the stadium says champions 3 times in a row. They just showing them as the citizens arrived earlier today. Blue smoke outside the ground. It was a party atmosphere all the way through since the start in this one, and Paul, I know we briefly touched upon it briefly before we came on air just over almost 2.5 hours ago. I've said it there and resigned to the fact that we're going to be down, and I think we said off air beforehand, you think it is for Leeds as well, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I told you last night, Russ, during our telephone conversation, that I said if you didn't beat West Ham, I think you'd be down, and I maintain that. I think you are doomed at this point, and I'm sorry if there's any Leeds fans listening, and I'm sorry I have to say this to you, Russ, but I think you're doomed at this point.
Yeah, Paul, no need to apologise, mate. I think we are as well. I can see us potentially beating Spurs next week, but I don't see that being enough to stay in the division, because I think Everton will win next week against Bournemouth, should I say. But then a friend of mine and a friend of the channel, Richard Bond, because a friend of mine, John Kane, who used to be on the channel beforehand, said, Russ, thank your lucky stars you have Spurs last game. And I said to him, we won't still, mate. Everton have got Bournemouth at Goodison Park. And then Richard Bond, an Everton fan, and said, they've pounded us twice already this season. Don't worry, so hopefully we beat Spurs. Bournemouth pound Everton again next week, and I can turn my disappointment into excitement this time next week on the way home from the game.
Well, what I will say,
and just before you do come in on that there, Paul, a moment, Lucas Poe, Bournemouth will beat Everton. Let's have faith. I hope so, but the last few weeks for Bournemouth, in games where you would say they were going to win, they've capitulated in that as well. They've capitulated, and Luke said he watched the Leeds game. Just going on to Luke's point before this, he just seemed very flat and they capitulated. Only Ailing seemed bothered, and it was all run and no end product. Bowen was onside, and he says Max Verber were playing Bowen on earlier. I want to see it again, Luke, but I'll accept what you're saying right now. And I'll accept the decision for that one. But the third one was definitely offside for me. Well, Paul, what was you going to say quickly before we get ready for the trophy presentation of Manchester City this evening?
What I will say for Leeds is they were in this position last season, where they needed to better Burnley's performance against Newcastle. Now, you're just going to have to try to do it again, but I don't share Luke's faith that Everton will lose to Bournemouth. I just don't see that happening in front of a partisan Goodison Park crowd. All they need is a draw, and I think I just don't see them beating Bournemouth, to be honest. I just don't see Bournemouth beating Everton, to be honest. They're on the beach now. Their survival is secure. It's very. I don't know. I don't see it happening, to be honest. I actually hope I'm wrong, because it would be nice to see all our teams in the Premier League next season. But I don't see it happening.
Yes, absolutely. And Luke says, yeah, but this is Everton, toxic Goodison Park. Then the players find it easier to play away than at Goodison Park, he reckons. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Luke, you are correct with that. We're still moments away from the trophy presentation. I think it's about to be made in just a moment. I can see everything being ready. The pitch is being cleared. It's laid out. I can see Premier League champions there. I can see the trophy celebration things getting ready to be taken and ready for the trophy players to be walking onto the pitch, ready to order aloft the trophy and make it come back out in just a moment or so. Before we wait, while we just wait for the trophy presentation, we're just going to take a very quick and short break. We're back in 30 seconds from now. You can count them. We're going to be leaving. Paul James is going to be leaving us in just a second as we're back after our quick break as the City players are getting ready to come out of the tunnel for the celebrations. But before we do let you go, Paul, just overall on the game for Man City as the players are getting ready to come out for the trophy celebration in just a second. Do you agree with the player of the match that I chose earlier, Paul?
Oh yeah, I think Cole Palmer was effective from minute one. He really made it very difficult for Azpilicueta, and he was involved in the goal. He was a threat all afternoon, to be honest. And so I think you definitely picked the right choice.
Yes, a big thank you then to Paul James, who will be leaving us now. Big thank you for your contribution so far to the Premier League season, Paul, and a big thank you for your continued support to the channel, whether you're listening or contributing, whichever way you can. So a big thank you to you, Paul. And I just want to say as well, I know JB announced this yesterday. I'm going to announce it now. Myself, I was already saying anyway, but I can announce that Paul James will be back on your airwaves next season. We'll be back on for the FA Cup final. We'll be back, and hopefully back on next week with a final day game from the Premier League. Will be with us again next season. Paul, you looking forward to continuing your work with the Commentary Hub?
Yeah, actually, like I said before, I've really enjoyed doing it. The reason why I do it is because I enjoy doing it, but I really hope that the listeners enjoy it. I hope that I'm not tearing their ears up with my commentary. So hopefully, I hope the listeners are enjoying it. And obviously, I certainly enjoyed working with the channel and working with all the people within the channel. It's a great organisation, and I think it's underrated on YouTube. Actually, I'd like to see us get more subscribers. I think the channel deserves that, and I think those that have contributed to the channel, JB, yourself, Mike, Luke, Liam, Nicholas, have all made great contributions to these channels, and I apologise if I've missed anybody off there. But I think everybody that has been connected with the Commentary Hub has made great contributions. So it's certainly a pleasure to be a part of, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing the FA Cup final, also the last game of the season, and next season's going to be super exciting too.
Yes, big thank you then to Paul James as the Man City backroom team get ready to come out of the coming out of the tunnel right now for the trophy presentation. The trophy celebrations is now about to be on the way, but big thank you to Paul for his contribution today and throughout this season. And we'll be back, as he says, hopefully next week for the final day, and we'll also be back for the Premier League for the FA Cup final between Manchester City and Manchester United. Big thank you once again to Paul James. Right then, the trophy celebrations is getting ready. There's Pep Guardiola in the tunnel. Some of the players and coaching staff, especially the coaching staff, are taking on some fluids on board in the end. Big thank you to everybody for taking the time to listen to Man and Paul's commentary today. Paul James is now left his duty. He's got other commitments to do this evening. Commentator for this trophy presentation is myself, Russ Brennan, and I'll talk you through the trophy presentation with Manchester City lifting the title. They've beaten Chelsea by a goal to nil, and the trophy presentation is on the way. So the Premier League trophy with blue ribbons, sky blue ribbons, walk out onto the field. There's some of the coach staff just bowing as they see the trophy walk past them. Some video in it as well, clapping along, bowing and celebrating as Manchester City get ready very, very shortly, as they will be lifting this trophy up aloft very, very shortly. There's some of the people from the Premier League as well to walk out there to lift up, to watch and give City their medals and lift up the hand over the trophy as there sees Man City fetch out the trophy. The name is inscribed onto that trophy as the teams just walk, as the members of the Premier League just walk on there, get ready to clap and shake hands with the City players. Anyone out there listening? I gave the player of the match to Cole Palmer today. If you watched the game, let us know if you agree with that choice of player of the match. This is Manchester City against Chelsea. This is Premier League trophy celebrations live, and we've got it coming up on the commentary as the rest of some more of the backroom staff now make their way out onto the field. They're just coming through, high-fiving with the mascot as they walk through, and they will clap and take a guard of honour with some of the backroom staff there. We're clapping along as well as they move along in the end all the way through down the line. High-five is all the time, and they'll make their way down. All of the Citizen coaching team and the backroom staff have got sky blue shirts on with celebrations on. Everyone's got those on, including the outfield players, including the goalkeepers as well. And it's now going to be a party atmosphere at the Etihad. It was already starting to be a party atmosphere with 10 minutes to go over the game, and there's a party atmosphere right now as well, as the trophy presentation is getting almost nearer and nearer and nearer to the end of the game. As we get ready to watch the trophy presentation for you, we've got our pictures still up on the screen right now. The coverage of our coverage will finish once the trophy presentation ends, and we'll go through the other matches and remind you of the scores. But before we will leave you as well, we will fetch some reaction to Leeds United again, with the reaction of Leeds United manager Sam Allardyce from earlier today as the Chelsea players leave the tunnels. There is a shot of the Man City manager Pep Guardiola, who now gets a standing ovation from the citizen crowd out there as they as he waves to the crowd, walking out, arm aloft, and he takes the high fives from his backroom staff, the men who he works with on a daily basis to help achieve this at the end of every single season for the past 3 seasons. Pep Guardiola high-fiving his way down the line, all the way through, right to the very end. And hug, instead of an high-five to one of his coaching staff. There's Scott Carson, the first goalkeeper to come out on as well. There's Edison as well for Manchester City. John Stones is there too. Nathan Ake wasn't involved today. Americ Laporte, Gomez, amongst the players involved there. There's Rico Lewis as well. And then Manuel Akanji there too. Calvin Phillips, Jack Grealish next in line. Bernardo Silva is next in line as well. Some more of the Citizen youngsters there involved today, giving high fives as we Uggs with there's Erling Haaland's there too, the top goal scorer for Manchester City this season. One of the best strikers in the world right now, Erling Haaland. Play for one of the best clubs in the world right now, in my opinion as well. There's Erling Haaland. Leeds born Erling Haaland, the Yorkshire Viking. Pep Guardiola leads the way, won 11 titles in 14 of full seasons in management. And there is Pep Guardiola, the Spanishman, leading the way for the trophy presentations this evening. He kisses his medal and leaves it aloft. There's Ortega, Mahrez there too. And Pep Guardiola just claps and waves to the fans as they all make their way down in their seats. And they're just watching along to this one today, watching the trophy presentation. Guess where Scott Carson is there. There's some of the Citizen players as well. The trophy presentation being made in the end. Scott Carson not played a minute, so he will not get a winner's medal. He's been part of the squad though. There's Ederson as the players will get announced one by one. Ederson is there now, 10th major trophy with Man City, including 5 Premier League titles. John Stones next up, 5th title in 7 seasons at Manchester City for the former Barnsley man. What a job Pep Guardiola has done with him since he came to the Citizens. John Stones 5 Premier League titles in 7 seasons here at the Etihad Stadium. Next in line is Nathan Ake, who's won Premier League titles in all 3 seasons at Manchester City. What a revolution he's been to this squad under Pep Guardiola as the handshakes continue and the claps from the players. There is Aymeric Laporte, 5th title in 6 seasons at Manchester City. 5th Premier League title for Aymeric Laporte. I'll announce each one by one in the terms of the players that goes down there. There is Sergio Gomez, first major trophy of his career in his first season at Manchester City as well. So congratulations to him. There is Manuel Akanji, 3rd league title, 2 with Basel and 1 with Manchester City. Never won one before he came to the Premier League in Germany at Borussia Dortmund. So Manuel Akanji there. There is Rico Lewis, first major trophy with Man City. He made his Premier League debut back in August and collects his first major trophy with the club in May. What a season for Rico Lewis has had. Now is Calvin Phillips, first major trophy of his career. Obviously won the championship with Leeds United, but this will beat anything of the lot. The Premier League title winners medal, he kisses that there and is proud as punch. And he'd be thinking of his Granny Val if she could see him now. Rest in peace to Granny Val. Here's Jack Grealish then, won the Premier League title in both seasons at Manchester City after his move to the Citizens from boyhood club Aston Villa. As there is Jack Grealish just talking along. Bernardo Silva next up, 10th major trophy with Man City, including 5 Premier League titles for the Portuguese international. So good to see that there. As City fans jumping, singing his song there. Next up then from Manchester City in the squad list and as they announce them as they come across, as Man City fans see themselves on the TV screens inside the stadium. Next up then, Cole Palmer, his first major trophy with Manchester City. Congratulations to him. Cole Palmer at one stage looked like he was going to be loaned out, but in the end he said he wanted to stay, fight for his place and what a season he's had and what a game he's had today. There's Erling Haaland, 3rd career league title, it's a new record for most goals in a Premier League season, 36 goals. Erling Haaland breaking records left, right and centre. There's his dad, Alfred Inge Haaland, taking a video as his son gets his winner's medal. He's in the crowd today, is Alfred Inge Haaland. There's Julian Alvarez, he won the Premier League title with Manchester City and he's also won the World Cup with Argentina this season. He's a winner and he's got 2 gold medals this season were won. And I think, I'm not sure which one will I lift the eye in his ceiling. Riyad Mahrez his 5th Premier League title, 4 with Manchester City, and he's also got 1 with Leicester City as well. So it'll be interesting to see who else comes up now for Manchester City. Be the full squad. Is next in line is number 47 Phil Foden, 5th title of his in the Premier League at the age of just 22 years of age. As we go through the trophy presentation, as more players are going to be announced before we see the lift of the trophy. And there is Rodri, 3rd Premier League title in 4 seasons at Manchester City, and he just kisses that trophy there, and then he takes a high fives from some of his teammates in the end. Next in line then, number 3 and the defender, Ruben Diaz, 3 seasons at Manchester City, 3 Premier League titles won. What more could you ask for from the Portuguese international, Ruben Diaz? Next in line was today's captain, Kyle Walker, 5th title in 6 seasons at Manchester City. And what a job he's done this season. And this squad I'm reading out could be part of a treble winning season if they end up winning the FA Cup and the Champions League. There's Kevin De Bruyne, 10th major trophy with Man City, including 5 Premier League titles. And what a season he's had. As the chance of Kevin De Bruyne ring around here at the Etihad Stadium around us. Next from Manchester City, is the next one in line is the main man, is the club captain, Ilkay Gundogan, 6th Premier League title, 5 with Manchester City and 1 with Borussia Dortmund. He will now take his medal. He will then get handed the Premier League trophy. He will walk along to just below, stand in front of the Premier League, his Premier League winning title teammates, and holds the trophy aloft. The pyrotechnics go off, playing Blue Moon around the Etihad as well. The blue pyrotechnics, tissue paper flying up and down the sky. The citizen fans and the citizen players jump up and down. The coaching staff will now join in with the celebrations with the rest of the squad, and the chance of Championes ring around here as Manchester City win their 3rd successive Premier League title on the end of the game today. So, unfortunately, we won't have time to hear from Sam Allardyce, as we're going to end the programme in just a moment. But as we see, Man City just jumping up and down still, lifting up the trophy, and champagne spraying everywhere across there. We'll just go through the scores from the Premier League for today and yesterday and go through that in the end for you. So let's start off with the Premier League results, and we'll start off with Saturday the 20th of May. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Brentford 3, Bournemouth 0, Manchester United 1, Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Everton 1, Fulham 2, Crystal Palace 2, Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 0, West Ham United 3, Leeds United 1, Brighton Hove Albion 3, Southampton 1, and Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. Tomorrow's match sees Newcastle against Leicester City. Leicester know that with a defeat they could end up being relegated come tomorrow evening. A draw or more will see them move above Leeds United and leave them level with Everton with a chance of staying in the league. But it looks as though Leeds United season in the Premier League will come to an end next week after Leeds play Tottenham. But for myself and from Paul and from everybody else here, thank you very much for listening. From all of the team here at the Commentary Hub, is very much Good evening to you all. Good night, everybody.